Tottenham Hotspur in a Europa League final. It's been 6 years since our last European final. We didn't get the result we wanted. Surely tonight against this Man United team, surely this Tottenham team can get it over the line. Surely the fans deserve it. Surely everyone associated to this football club deserves a trophy. Fingers crossed. Dan, the Spurs analyst, is here with me. Dan, is this Spurs' time? Is our name etched on that trophy?
Well, first of all, big up Savva, big up chat. What a huge day. What a huge evening tonight. Massive game where I think we have to win it, right? There's so much pending on this now. So much pending on it. If we have to win it. If we win it, it's glory. Everybody's together. Everybody celebrates. We haven't seen enough of it, over the past 40 odd years. This is our moment. We've got a team. We're playing Manchester United, who are beatable. They are beatable, in my opinion, and I'll be very disappointed if we don't win. Very. So, guys, everybody get behind the team. Huge night. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, listen, I think all the time for Levy in, Levy out, Angie in, Ange out. Don't like this player. Didn't want to sign that player. Hate this director of football. I think we can pick that all up again in the morning.
Yep.
I feel like today is very much about we need this. We need this so badly. And Dan, this isn't, I've been saying all week, this is no longer just about lifting a trophy. This is about keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
We don't win this, we fall further and further behind. We don't win this, and it's another night where Spurs fans are we're the bridesmaid. We're not the bride. And tonight we need to be the bride. Tonight we need to be on our backs. Do you know what I mean? Take that for whatever you think that means, people. Tonight we need to be the bride. And I've been harsh on this manager. I have. I don't rate this manager. Everyone knows that. But tonight, until the game finishes, I'm not going to be talking about Ange out. I'm not going to be talking about why I don't rate him. Tonight is about surely every single Spurs fan pulling in the same direction. And then hopefully, if we win this game, celebrating as a fan base. Surely we deserve that, don't we? All of us, everyone.
It's been far too long, man. 17 years, 41 years since the last European trophy. If any team club needs a trophy, it's us. Man United win trophies regularly. They'll be all right if they miss out on this one. And the attitude from their manager, Almerim, he's really playing it down. He's saying, well, the Europa League, it's all right. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right attitude to have. But when you're kind of motivating a team for a final, I mean, I don't agree with that. You should be saying it's important. Any trophy is important, especially a European one. So look, it's huge night, and I think we can do it. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get the feeling, though. I mean, I get the feeling that Ruben Amorim seems like quite a cool, calm customer. I've got a feeling behind closed doors, that message to the players won't be, it's only Europa League. I get what he's saying. He's at a huge club. Like, let's be fair, whatever we want to say, Man U are a massive football club. And I get that their fans feel slightly different. From what I'm seeing, their fans feel slightly different. Their fans are very much along the lines of, this is a disaster this season. Like, this is a disaster. Winning the Europa League for them is okay. For us, it's huge because we've not won the Europa League, or God, I mean, we're old enough to, we'd have been alive when they won it in '84, when it was called the UEFA Cup. Remember the days of the UEFA Cup, not the Europa League. But look, it's interesting, isn't it? Because normally, and we spoke about this just briefly before we went live, normally you play Man United in a final and it's like, oh, Man United, I don't know. They got York and Cole and Sheringham and Solskjaer and Rooney and Tevez and Van Nistelrooy and Beckham and Scholes and Giggs and you name it. I missed out Ronaldo. I missed out one of the best ever, Ronaldo. This isn't that Man U. Dan, this isn't that Man U. I was looking at their squad yesterday, the official squad that's fit for tonight. And barring Bruno, told you I'm really worried about Maguire. Set pieces, he scares the shit out of me. barring that, I'm looking at it and going, beatable. This is beatable, Dan. It is, right? This is our time.
This is a winnable game, and it's all about Ange, how he sets them up tonight. The decision around who he's playing behind Solanke, what he's going to do. I don't think anybody really knows. Who's on? Obviously, Son's going to start. Johnson will start. We know the team. It's just that position behind the forward, which we're a little bit unsure. Because if you start off with two strikers, then obviously if there's an injury, you leave yourself short. So there's not a lot of options on the bench. So, but again, I just think it's going to be one of those games where it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a bit ugly at times. I just think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we win. Doesn't matter how we score. You know, there's a lack of creativity in this side. But if we can just kind of bully Man United, outwork them, want it more, all of these things will hopefully get us over the line tonight. And look, I am hopeful. I am.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of people, you know, listen, the build-up's got crazy. Some of the videos coming out of Bilbao are absolutely brilliant, as somebody just said there. Some of them not so much. Don't like to see all the fighting videos. I don't feel there's any need for that. Both sets of fans surely be grown up enough that have some banter, cuss each other's teams, but no need for fighting. But the Spurs fans they're singing about everything and anything from our past. It's brilliant. And look, it's one of those where neither team can say they're going into this in any sort of form. Neither team can sit here and go, well, we've won 9 of the last 11. He's scoring loads. He's really playing well in goal. We're defending well. It does feel very much like, if you weren't a Spurs fan, Dan, it does feel very much like it would be a toss of a coin and you go, yeah, they might win. From a Spurs perspective, though, do we need this more than Man United? Man United team that are already signing players like Mateus Cunha, right, for next season. Do we need this more?
100%. We need this more. So much more than Manchester United. We cannot lose this final. If it's a disaster, the season we've had in the league, we have to get it over the line. We have to find a way tonight. It's got the passion. We've got the kit, the white kit, you know, the white shorts, the European kit. We have to do it, man. Honestly, I can't have this. I can't have this. We cannot lose this. Must win. Got to. I mean, the whole atmosphere leading up to the game. We see it all over social media, in the press. I mean, there's a buzz around, even though we're so bad. But we're so bad. But I think it's just the occasion, isn't it? We don't make many finals. We don't win many finals. And this is you're not going to get a bigger opportunity in a European Cup tonight against the Manchester United team. Let's be real. They're not vintage, are they?
No, they're not. And listen, they'll be saying, again, football fans, we're all very biased, right? It's the nature of what we do. Man U fans right now on Man U channels will be going, it's Spurs. It's not a good Spurs team. They don't have a Harry Kane. You know what I mean? This is what they'll be saying. And this is what I think makes this game very interesting. This is a Spurs team where we know how we normally try and play, but we haven't got the creative players. We know how Man U are going to play. Man U don't change from their setup. I think they probably edge it in terms of experience in the team.
Yeah.
But this is a team we've beaten 3 times this year. And everyone's saying, okay, you got those saying, well, we've already beaten them 3 times. This is a given. This is a given, Dan. We'll just do 4. You then got those others that are a bit more skeptical that say things like, well, hang on, the law of averages say the chances of beating a team 4 times in one season. Do you think those 3 wins from earlier in the year, because they were quite a long time ago now, do they play a part in tonight for you, or is this just a complete standalone game?
Completely. This is an important game. This is a game that means something. You win that match, you get a cup, you get Champions League. It's completely different. Yes, I think the players, knowing that they've beaten Manchester United 3 times, have got a good record under Ange against Manchester United, haven't lost to Manchester United since 2022. So the signs are there that this team are beatable. We've beat them before. But again, it's a final. So can these players rise to the occasion? We haven't got many winners in the team. a lot of players haven't been here before in this position, so it's their moment, isn't it? It's their moment to step up. Players like Solanke, can he do it? Can he step up in a final? There's a number of them. Obviously, Romero, he's been there, he's won the World Cup. Him, Van der Ven are so crucial today, our back line. I mean, look, it's going to have to be like a fantastic performance. Everybody's got to play well. Everyone's got to play a part. And I'm just hoping that tonight that we just don't do the Spursy thing and lose another final.
For sure. Yeah, the fact that the fans deserve it. I mean, listen, Alec Lewis, I'm seeing your comments. Alex, stop. You'll get blocked, mate. Stop it. People call me negative. You're the ones coming in and just saying the negative shit to me, right? You're the one coming in. Like, Dan and I have said nothing negative here, and you're putting in the chat, talk about negative thing. Who has said anything negative, Dan? I haven't. We're literally saying we've got to win. This is they're there for the taking. And what on earth is happening?
We're Spurs fans, like man. We want to win.
Just, they drive me insane. It's trolls like this. It's trolls like this that drive me insane. Anyway, back to the good chat we were having before this fucking knobhead came into my chat. You know me, sorry. I don't hold back on dickheads like that. Like, he wants me to get a tattoo saying, sorry, Ange, I was wrong. I mean, I'm not going to go down the league route. We all know what's happened now. I'm not going down that. Look, there's a lot of talk, isn't there, about what do we do tonight? Because normally you would say that you know, Maddison or Kulusevski are going to adopt that number 10, that attacking midfield role. We've not got that tonight. Not got that option. The question is, does he go with a 3 in midfield and we see Papa Sarr? Or does he go 2 in midfield and then he goes with 4 forwards, i.e. Son, Richie, Solanke, Johnson? What do you do tonight if you're Ange, and what does he do?
Look, I don't like the idea of Sarr playing. We've got a lack of creativity anyway. We need to have... I mean, I think possibly Wilson might start. I mean, there's a lot of talk about playing Son around the kind of more up front with Solanke, playing off him. That's an option. I don't want Sarr. I mean, Sarr could come on second half, maybe if we need to close it out. We need some legs in midfield. You've got to remember, we haven't got a lot of options in central midfield. So we can't put them all out there in that first half. So I think we need an attacking outlet. Wilson, we've seen flashes. We don't know. We scored in Europa League. He's definitely got some talent. And I'd like to see him running at that Manchester United defence and trying to cause some havoc. And it's a bit unpredictable. So for me, I'll probably edge with Wilson. But again, I want Son to be closer to goal, you know, in and around the box, linking in with Solanke. And then you look at the left, and then maybe you can put Wilson there or Tell. I don't know, Savva, mate. What do you think? What is Ange going to do?
I don't know. I mean, I guess one of the questions as well is, how fit is Sarr? I mean, they said he came off the other night, right, with I believe it was something to do with his back. But again, like, if you do put in Sarr, Bentancur, Basuma, it's a very rigid, one-dimensional midfield, isn't it? It doesn't really offer you. Between the 3 of them, by the way, they've got 2 assists all year in 4 competitions. So you know you're not getting creativity from that 3. I don't know. Does he put the 2 in? Does he then go 2 up top? Does he go with a kind of 4-4-2 type with maybe Solanke or Richie dropping? Does he shift Son into the number 10? Does he, does Tell or Odegaard start out wide and you get the other players in the middle? I genuinely don't know. I do worry if it's Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr. I do. Because I do think that is very rigid.
I don't like that.
I'm not sure what my criticism was, that for the last 2 games, he's known who's available and he's not tried anything. That was my worry, Dan. Against Villa, against Palace, thought, okay, maybe try someone in the 10 behind Solanke. But he hasn't. So I think it is going to be that 4-3-3, Johnson, Solanke, Son, Bentancur, Sarr, Basuma.
You think?
I don't see he's going to do anything around it.
Do you really think? Wow.
I think it's a huge risk to only play the 2 in the middle against Man. You know what how Man U play. 3 centre halves, the two that sit in front of them, and then Bruno who drops in to be the third man. I think
Yeah.
we might be a bit smothered. But I don't know, man.
They like to control the ball, don't they, Almarim? He likes it controlled. You know, that's how they play. They don't play a high line. Big up, Dan.
You're right.
This is the thing. I don't like it. I understand what you're saying, Savva, but the creativity, we need to create chances tonight. Yeah,
Sure.
we need to do something. Porro's an outlet, of course. We've got to get knockdowns in the box. Got to get crosses. The fullbacks must stay wide. They cannot invert. Dan, we were talking about this last night. They have to stay wide. That high line, we can't go with a high line. We've got to be clever. Ange has got to come up with something, and I pray he does. Out of all games this season where he's blown it so many times, Ange has got to get this right tonight. Yeah,
welcome, Danny. Good morning to you. Look, this is a world record for you being up at this time of the day, isn't it?
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. Up since 9 o'clock. And that was more just down to the fact of thinking of things. And then it's just like, we just might as well get up now.
Yeah, no, I listen. Dan, talk to us. I mean, we're just sitting here trying to be as... Oh, hang on. Just before we do, Dan, hang on. Look at this absolute hooligan who's been fighting all morning in Bilbao, throwing chairs and tables through coffee shops and pubs.
Sorry, I'm not... Excuse me, I'm not still. That was Stel's gig last night.
Lubo, you were up at 2 a.m. to get to the airport and get to Bilbao. Safe flight. You got there well?
Yeah, all good. We had to wait about an hour to get on the plane because it hadn't been refueled. So we left about 6:30 instead of 5, but it doesn't matter. We got in here. We've had a nice breakfast, and right behind me is the Guggenheim, so we're going to have a little bit of culture for a couple of hours. Pop in there and then off to the fan zone. So 2 contrastly different morning and afternoons, but that's the beauty of traveling. Beautiful city, great weather, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Lovely. So Lubo, talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Just before Dan comes in, because I'm not sure. Sorry to cut you off, Dan, there. I just thought because Lubo's phoning in, not sure. Lubo, I mean, Sarr, I'm guessing this is the big question for all. Is Sarr fit? If he's fit, does he play? Does that stifle the midfield a bit? Does it make it all a little bit robotic if it is Sarr, Basuma and Bentancur? What we saying?
I don't think there's any... I don't think he hasn't got another... He has choices, but then he's trying people out in a cup final, isn't he? He's taking a massive risk. If he plays Sarr, he knows where Sarr plays. He knows what he can do, and they've just got to shithouse their way to maybe a 1-0 win. Who knows?
I completely agree with you, mate. I completely agree with you. What would you do, Danny? Before I come back to Lubo, what would you do? I mean, we're at match day. We know now that all this nonsense about Bergvall might be fit. People were praying Maddison might be. We know they're not available. What do we do? This is it now. You know the squad. What do we do?
With this one, I mean, I still think a 4-2-3-1 would be a better one to play.
You're right.
But if we go and do it 4-3-3, then obviously I think Sarr's going to go in the middle, isn't he? I mean, what other option do we have? But I would rather we play a 4-2-3-1 on this.
Okay, 3-2-4-1.
4-2-3-1. Yeah,
okay.
That is what I'd rather play.
I mean, guys, as I said, my thing all week has been about how do we create. That is my big thing. How do we create against this Man United team? I think Dan List just said there, the key thing is we can't invert those fullbacks, can we, with the width that Man U play? We just can't do that, guys. Anyone?
Well, inverting is what has damaged us most of the time, hasn't it? Inverting has absolutely done us over how many times? And we've looked our best when we don't play inverted wing-backs. And Porro is also going to have to be our playmaker as well. So if we invert the wing backs, we're asking for trouble as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, look, guys, I think, look, the Bentancur, Basuma, they need to have massive games tonight. Them two are so important to decide. Sitting in front of that defence, keeping it ticking, keeping it going, pressing that Man United midfield. Now, Man United midfield haven't got a lot of legs, so we've got to get it in amongst them. Win that ball back quick, break forward as fast as we can. Son, you know, what did you think, guys, of Son's performance the other day against Villa?
Meh.
I feel like he looks like a young, exuberant winger who just kept flying down the wing, but with no real end product. Yeah. I feel like that's what's gone from his game, and that's what he's got to find tonight. Listen, and we all need to channel our inner Perchy and get that through to Sonny. I don't know, guys. Yeah, the other night, I mean, it was interesting, right? We were hitting Villa on the counter attack because that's what we had. But it's those final balls where Son used to get that ball. He'd cut in, it's whipped in the top corner, and we go, "Wow, you're amazing." We haven't got that anymore, Luba, have we? From Son, that it's not that guy. Can he find it tonight?
Just needs to do it once tonight, I reckon. That's what we need. I don't think you can take too much notice of what's gone on in the last few weeks, because they've not put it in when it comes to league games. We heard what Roy Keane said. Fully agree. Yeah. So it's not a question of we were shit, we put 100% into it. We had our best team out. We didn't. He kept rotating. The players really didn't give it everything they could. And 1 point or 2 points in God knows how many games, 6-7 games, pathetic. So, but today it's all about this, and the players have turned up for the European games, and they'll be there tonight, I'm sure. You know, a lot of them. This is a massive game for them in their lives, in their careers, and they've got to step forward. We didn't turn up really for Madrid, and that was a poor Liverpool performance compared to how they were playing that season, and we should have taken advantage. You know, with all sorts of nonsense going on, which we know about, that sort of derailed it a little bit. Today, no excuses. The players have been out for a while. You know, they've known people like Maddison, Bergvall. You know, they've basically known they were not going to play. Maddison was nowhere near. That was just paper talk. Bergvall probably another couple of weeks and he'll be fit. But the boys who are playing know they're playing. They would have been lined up in their positions in training the last few days, so they know which system they're going to play. They've just got to go out and do it now. And it is a flip of a coin, because you look at United's recent form, you look at their league form, it's as bad as ours. So you got two teams with appalling league records this season that have done much better in the cups. All on the night tonight, and as I say, flip of a coin. Please God, it's us. We need this badly.
Do you believe in the boys? Do you believe in them? Do you think they can do it, these guys,
absolutely.
in a big moment?
I do, Dan. I do. I was just saying to my son, just walking down, and he was born in 2000. That was 16 years after the last European trophy. And I said to him, you know, it's just unfortunate. You've been born, and ENIC have been the bloody owners for the whole time you've been alive. I said, so it'll be nice for him to see something. You know, I've seen the glory days and the Hoddles and the Clismans and Gazzers and Aussies and Greaveses. You know, he hasn't seen that much. So for him, and he was 8 when we won the League Cup. So he remembers walking at fun enough. We were laughing. He was walking out the grounds, 8-year-old, and they were all singing 1-0, and you bleeped it up. Yeah. And I looked at him. I remember looking at him. And he was banging the wall and he was singing away, and I looked at him. He said, "No, Dad." I said, mucked it up. And I just want him to share. I just want him and remember. And this will be a magical moment. It's just great to have, you know, to be out here with my son for a day out. It's wonderful. And we just need that result tonight.
Isn't it fair to say, guys, though, that we've all, whatever our opinions for the last 17 years on managers, on players, on whatever, doesn't every Spurs fan, forget who hates who and who likes who and who talks about, every Spurs fan, don't they tonight deserve to go to bed and go, yes. Like, yes, because the flip side to it, guys, is if we don't, we're just going to be that banter club for at least another year where we're gutted, Spursy, right. You guys don't win. We deserve it. right?
We're si-
All of us.
We're 16 rows from the front, lower level, along the sides. When Spurs come around, please God, with that cup, I want a picture with one or two of the players with the cup, leaning over.
Absolutely.
This is our night. That'll be just brilliant. Just brilliant. I'm going to catch you later. I'll call
See
you
you later,
from
mate.
I'll speak to you later from
Have
the
a good
fans.
time.
Big up, Ian.
Thanks, guys.
See
Come
you
on, you
later.
Spurs.
He's
Come
giving
on,
us
you Spurs.
goosebumps. He's
Big
giving
up,
us
Lubo.
goosebumps there, saying that, man. Giving us goosebumps. Honestly, we win that trophy. We lift that trophy. Oh, think about how are you going to feel.
We've got to. I mean. Look, Lubo hit on a really good point there, guys. And if in a minute I do need to go to the door, it's because I have ordered a Mackie D's breakfast. I saw that there was 6 minutes before they stopped doing breakfast, and I went, I fancy a bit of that today. Yeah. I mean, guys, Lubo hits on a good point there. You know, the last European final, it was all a bit strange, wasn't it? It was all a bit strange. It was another year where we fell off a cliff from January through to May. We fell off a cliff in the league. And luckily, we had enough points in the bank that we still got top 4. But we had the injuries like this year. The final was in Spain like this year. The difference was, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a 3-week gap. It was really weird. There was a 3-week gap between the last game of the season and the Champions League. And it felt very, I don't know, it felt very stifled, the build-up. You know what I mean? It was like, well, what's going on? Why are we waiting so long? And then we didn't turn up. It was a poor performance. We've got a chance to rewrite some of that tonight. We've got a chance to rectify that, Dan.
It's a completely different match, isn't it? Like the opposition, where we can beat them. We've beaten them this season. We've beaten them last season. They're not great. We're not going to get a big opportunity in a final, in a European Cup final, against this level of opposition. Yes, Manchester United have the heritage. Yes, Manchester United have won trophies over the years. But look, we can beat them. And I just pray that they turn up tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ryan asking, what's our stats or finals that we've won to the ones that we've lost? Well, I can tell you this is our 7th final under 7th. Yeah, this is our 7th final under Levy. If we can, I can't go back to the beginning of time, but under Levy, this is our 7th final under Enoch. And we've won one of them. If I'm not wrong, I think we've lost to Man U, Man City, Chelsea in a League Cup final, Liverpool in the Champions League. There's one other League Cup final we've lost, and Blackburn in a League Cup final. So we lost 5 League Cup finals, 1 Champions League final, and we won 1 League Cup final. So look, it's not great, Ryan, but you know what? History's there to be rewritten, isn't it, Danny? History's there to be changed.
Well, you can't change history. You can't change the past, but you can have a say in the future. Like I said, with the whole season, 21 games defeated, everything else and that, we can't change that. It's irrelevant now. It's done. It's dusted. You cannot change it. But Tottenham do have a say in the future. I mean, for this game, for me, I think Son is going to be a definite starter, and he has really got to show up. He has actually got to show that he has got captain levels about him, because I don't agree with him as a captain, and I think he's been an absolutely terrible captain. But of all games, he needs to show up and actually show how much he means to the club, and if he's still good enough for the club and good enough to be a captain, this is going to be the game he has to do it.
Son, this is his last final, probably, isn't it? Really, we've got to be realistic here. This is his chance to walk away from Spurs whenever he leaves. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, whenever he leaves with a trophy, because he has been fantastic for Spurs over the years. Son, he's been a favourite. Yeah. I know he's fallen off a bit lately, but look, he deserves a trophy. Out of all the players playing tonight, Son, I want to see lift that trophy. I hope he does. Kane missed out. Son, let's just hope he's the one, and he has to show up tonight. He's got to step up, Son. You know, there's no excuse from him. He's got to pull it out the bag. But I want him closer to goal, and I just don't know how Ange would make that happen.
I still say that where we don't, this is what I call by adapting games. You haven't got to totally change the formation or the style or everything about it. And I think that's what a lot of people think when we say adapt the game. We haven't got a playmaker. So why play up front with a playmaker as a number 10? I keep saying I think Son would be the ideal man to put as the number 10 as the shadow man, as the shadow striker. So you can even almost put it as 2 at the front when needed. But I don't think Ange do that. He'll stick Son on the left. That's where he seems to love him, basically.
I'll tell you what, though, this is a really good talking point, guys, the Son part, because I see all the time, I see people saying he deserves a trophy and if anyone deserves it. Look, I'm a bit harsher than other people. I don't really do the whole deserve thing. He's been in multiple finals. He's not shown up. I'm not having a pop. This isn't just him. He's got another chance tonight. This is where he's got to have that little moment in the mirror to himself alone, hasn't he? And say, this is it. You know, we all say he deserves it. I think he owes us it as well.
No,
I think he owes us it. We've given him a lot of money over the last 10 years, right? So, by the way, I'm not saying what he's done for us hasn't been good, but, you know, I'm not saying he hasn't made Daniel Levy an absolute fortune with the Asian market, but I think it's a bit of give or take tonight. Yeah, he deserves it, but yeah, I think he owes us a final performance. I'm looking back at all the finals he's played, and it's like, I can't, you guys might disagree with me, someone in the chat might. I can't think of a final where I've gone, God, Son was good today. And we need that today. We need him to roll back the years, get that ball, cut inside.
Yeah, smash it in. Yeah.
And this is huge for him today.
He's the same as Kane. Kane don't turn up on the big games. He never does. He never did.
Sure.
On the big games, okay, you can say Arsenal is a big game, whatever, and that. But when it comes to a final, semi-finals, and that, Kane never shows up, and neither does Son. In the final,
right.
When we've had a final with him, he evaporates, and this is where we go on where the difference between a world-class player and a real world-class player. And yes, Son has got his chance now. The only other time he's going to get a chance, in my opinion, is if he finishes at the end of this season and goes over to Italy. Then he's got another chance, because I can see a couple of the big clubs like Inter or Napoli quite willing to go for him, and he might have another chance where the game's slowed down over there. It might suit him a lot better. This is Son's last chance, as far as I'm concerned, of actually getting something and actually delivering on the day that really matters.
Yeah.
But he's also got to get played the right way. If we just play him out wide, we've seen how crap he's been all season when he's basically played out wide on the left. If we use him as more as an inside forward, like what he actually is, you'll see more chance of getting a better player out of him. Again, it's all going to come down to the tactics and everything else. And if we're down 1-0, 2-0 down at 80 minutes or whatever, or 60 minutes, put whatever minute you want on there, I want Son screaming on that pitch. I want Son trying to bring up the players, not just walking about being a bitch like Maddison does and everything else, because that is what Son has done, whether people like to admit it or not. Once or twice I've seen him shout on the pitch, but most of the time when things go down, he goes down with it. So he has got to step up his gear tonight. He's the captain.
I like the way you flipped it, Savva, and I agree, Dan. I mean, he owes us it, doesn't he, really? You're right, how you put it. He does owe us it, because he hasn't turned up in finals, in clutch moments. Now, this is his time, and it's probably going to be his last time. So what's he going to do? Is he going to be the hero tonight and lift that trophy at the end of it? And if he does it, if he plays well, scores a goal, creates an assist, fair play, yeah? But
absolutely.
If he doesn't, then again, we're walking away saying, is he really the guy?
But look, listen, I think it's when we talk about footballers and we talk about legacies, as much as fans want to get all soppy about things, I know I've got little Matty K going, put respect on his name. It's not about respect on his name. Son's been a wonderful footballer for Tottenham. Everyone respects him. But if you want a lasting legacy, do you want how many finals will this be for Son? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about a guy that's had one final in a Spurs shirt. This guy's had, what, 3, 4 finals?
3, I think, in it. 3 or 4.
Tonight?
3 under Poch. Yeah. 2 under Poch.
He would have had 2 under Poch. This one, is that, so the 3, right? So the
3.
third, so 3 finals. At some point, if you want a legacy, you've got to be that guy. You've got to be that guy where we turn around and go, remember what Son did in that final?
Yeah.
Right? Look at Gareth Bale when he went to Real Madrid. Gareth Bale in those finals, the goal where he ran off the pitch and came back on in the Copa del Rey, the overhead kick in the Champions League final. This is where you go, right, you're a top player, deliver. You have to deliver. If people, again, I've said this all my time, right? And I know some don't agree with me. If people want to put players up there, lads, on a pedestal, I'm
That's where they
judging
get
them
judged.
up there on the pedestal. Yeah.
100%.
Don't put them up there if you don't want them to be judged there. Yeah. So tonight, I'm not expecting Brennan Johnson to be the guy that is the match winner. I'm not saying he can't get a tap in. What I mean is, I don't expect Brennan Johnson to cut inside, beat 3 men and whip one in the top corner. It's not his game. I don't expect it of him. I expect that from Son. Son is your match winner. Son is your best player. Son is your captain. Son is your leader. I expect that from Son. Yeah, Man United fans will be saying that right now about Bruno Fernandez. They're not expecting it from Højlund.
Yeah.
They're not expecting it from Garnacho. They expect it from Bruno, right? Son is our Bruno. So we need him to show up. We need him to step to the plate. I don't want to hear any talk about injury. If he's playing, he's fit. That's the club. That's on the manager. That's got to deliver. And if that sounds harsh, we'll suck it up, guys and girls. We're in a final of a European competition. This is not the time for sentiment. This is not the time for, oh, I love Sonny. Get out there, deliver. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is fair. And there's going to be space on them wings because, Man United, they play with the wing backs, yeah? So they're going to be pushing up. There's going to be space on that left to get in. If he can combination right with Udogi, get in the box, have a shot, create a chance. There's going to be opportunities tonight, definitely.
Oh, hang on. People are saying, yeah, don't forget the Mason fight. This is his fifth, isn't it? Let's have a look. Hang on. Here you go. List of finals. So Sonny's been here since 2015, maybe.
I'd say about that. Is it 15, 16? One or the other.
15. If he was here in 15, we were runners up in a one. Hang on, I'll tell you what. List of Spurs. Hang on. Let me have a look. List of Spurs finals. List of Tottenham Hotspur finals. Let's see which ones he played. List of Tottenham Hotspur finals. Listen. This is the thing. This is if people want to talk, if people want to put players on a pedestal, you show up, right? You show up. That's it for me. Tottenham Hotspur Cup history transfer market. Yeah, here we go. Right, transfer market. Right. So, let's just double check that I've got this right. Where's Spurs Son? So Sonny joined Tottenham in 2015. He joined Tottenham. So here we go. So the list of finals, right? So Son would have played against Liverpool, Man United today, and then he would have played against. Where's the League Cup? Here we go. And then he would have played against Man City. So is it just three? They're just the three finals.
Mason, Poch, 2, 3. That's it.
Which two under Poch?
So it was the Carabao Cup, the first one under Poch. Then he made a final with the Champions League final, and then one under Mason. So it's 3. Another Carabao Cup under Mason.
Was he in that game when Chelsea beat us 2-0? Son didn't play. I think he's only played 3 finals.
When did he play in wing back in a final? Was it that one?
No, that was a semi-final.
That was semi. That was semi-final. We did that and went tits up. Yeah, but that was semi-final. We'd done that.
Matty, it's not about being a one-man team. It's about if you're the main man, fans like you want to put him on a pedestal, cool. Go and do it. Go and be the guy. Go and be that guy. Sorry,
it's the same story with Romero. Sure. You want to say a player is world-class? A world-class player shows up on the day. A world-class player shows up consistently. And if you want to get called world-class, then you need to be judged world-class. Same as if you want to cost a certain amount and you're good enough for that first 11, you get judged as good enough for that first 11. I mean,
absolutely.
His history with us has been...
Son is superior to Bruno. Okay, but what are we basing this on? Bruno Fernandez, very different footballers, but Bruno Fernandez, if I'm not wrong, has turned up in multiple finals for Man United. Right? Bruno Fernandez, as the captain and the leader, has turned up in multiple finals and been the main guy. Right. So, Matty, we got to stop with you keep doing this in our WhatsApp group. It's the sweeping statements. It's sweeping statements that are sentimental. You've got to, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to get the door. So can you hold the fort for a few minutes?
Just touching on Son. I mean, he's a very good player, but he's not world class. He's not done it. He hasn't done it in the big games. So yes, Son is fantastic. He's been fantastic for Spurs. Scored some amazing goals. Great. He's given us so many good kind of celebrations when we've won games. He's been fantastic with Kane. They had that partnership, but it's really, you have to judge him on winning trophies, and he hasn't done it yet. Let's hope he does it tonight.
I mean, again, with Son, for me, he's never been a world-class player. He's been a world-class finisher, but just because you've got world-class assets, it doesn't mean you're a world-class player. For me, Son is a very, very patchy player. And what I mean by that is the goal he scores. Yes, at the end of the season, when he scored 15, 20 goals, it looks brilliant. But when you actually look at his goals, he goes for a stage of, let's say, example, 3 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals. And then he'll go 4 or 5 games and score nothing. And then he'll score another 3, 2, 1, 1. And then he goes missing for another few games and then scores another 3. If you actually check out since he's been at Spurs, his scoring is very purple patch. He goes for a patch, scores a lot, and then he goes for a patch where he doesn't, then he goes for a patch where he does. And that is why, for me, I mean, if he's such a world-class player, why is he at Spurs? Why has nobody ever gone for him? Why have Real Madrid never gone for him? Liverpool showed interest, but they decided to get someone else. And it's not disrespecting the player. I mean, just because he's been here for 10 years and done a brilliant job for us, I don't have to sit here and say Son was world-class. I mean, he's a world-class finisher. That doesn't make someone a world-class player. Not Dan, in my opinion.
Dan, 100%.
You need to have higher levels to be a world-class player. You need to be a consistent player. And Son hasn't always been consistent either.
No.
But he is a very, very good player with world-class finishing capabilities. And as a captain, I think he has been abysmal, to put it quite bluntly, as a captain. Should never have been captain. And he's only been there through PR standards. And if anyone can't accept that, then then they just don't know how the reality works. I mean, Plasma TV, you're saying nonsense take. Prove me wrong. Prove one thing I've just said is wrong. One thing. You can't do it because I just spoke facts.
It is facts. Dan has spoke facts, and he summed it up of Son perfectly, in my opinion. I agree with him. World-class finisher. He's scored some fantastic goals, but the consistency throughout a season has not been there every year. Yes, he's got numbers. He's one of our highest goal scorers of all time because he's been at the club for a long time. So look, let's hope that changes tonight, Dan, and everyone in the chat. Let's hope he's lifting that trophy. He gets that goal. I mean, it's his time tonight. It's probably his final time, as we said. Guys, what do you think? Can he do it? Can he step it up tonight? Fernandez has done it in the past. He's won the games for Man U. He's won cups. He's done it. Yeah. So to compare the two, Fernandez has actually been there in the clutch moments.
Okay, let me put it some different way for a couple of people on the chat who just think, has Son ever been as good as Salah? No. So Son is not a world-class and never was. World-class finisher, yes. World-class capabilities, but not a world-class player. Maybe we go in different times than that. This is where I struggle with calling people world-class these days, because I look at people that get called world-class these days, and then I take them 20, 25 years back, and they wouldn't even lace the boots of some of the players out there. And I say that with Eric Haaland and a lot of other players. Take Eric Haaland back 20, 25 years, go stick him in Italy. Does he touch Christian Vieri? Bollocks. Does he touch Batistuta? No. Does he touch Shevchenko? No. And I can go on with a list of players, but he would still be a very good player. But these days, where the standards of football has come down, it's a lot easier to get called world-class, basically. So if anyone would like to tell me on the chat that Son has ever been as good as Salah, please do it now.
That you can't, Dan. It's impossible. That Salah is a world-class player and Son is the level below, in my opinion.
Which is not an insult to him. He's still an extremely good player. Very, very good player. But
And we
just,
saw it, didn't we, Dan? Under Mourinho, Conte, they got so much
Mhm.
out of Son, didn't they? And Kane, that the way we played on the counter
Mourinho
attack.
was the one who sussed him out. Mourinho is the one who got the best out of him, I think. And again, that's where some people just need to accept that no matter how much you love a player and everything, if you just go and say they're world class and then you can't back it up, you can't. He could never cross the ball. His crossing's always been abysmal. His passing's been poor. As all Son's at his
We're talking about
dribbling has
Son.
never. Yeah. Basically, we're just saying people are saying Son is world class and always was, and I'm saying is he as ever good as Salah? And not one person has been able to back me has said it.
God
And
knows
Phil Coys, tell me that Son is not a patchy player. He is a patchy goal scorer, is what I said. Go and check his history. By the end of the season, it looks brilliant, and it is brilliant, scoring 15, 20 goals, but he scores in patches. Prove me wrong, Phil. Otherwise, I can bring up the stats that will show you he is a patchy goal scorer. He'll score 3, he'll score 2, he'll score 2, and then 1, and then he won't score for 5 or 6 games. And then for the next 4 games, he'll score another 5 or 6 goals. For me, that is a patchy player. And Phil Coys, you're wrong again. Son has never been a winger. He's an inside forward. A winger needs to be able to cross a ball. Can Son cross a ball? No, he can't. Not on a regular basis. Is his passing good? No, not on a regular basis. It's okay. So, Son is an inside forward. Phil, mate, get your facts right. He has never, ever been a winger good at it. He is an inside forward. Even in Germany, he played as an inside forward.
Listen, I'll ask this. I think, and again, the easiest way to sum this up is it's nights like tonight. Do it then. Let's stop talking about him being world class. Do it. Turn up on the big occasion and do it. This is the difference between truly world class players and players that we want to elevate to world class. For example, if you're going to judge Salah versus Son, right? Let me make sure. Right. So Mo Salah, if we hang on, Mo Salah, right? How many times has the boy hit over 20 goals in a Premier League season? And that's a rhetorical question because I'm about to tell you, right? So in his career in the Premier League, Mo Salah has hit over 20 goals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And the other 3 times he got 19, right? And his goals are 244 in 400 Liverpool games, right? When you look at Son's hit over 20 once in 10 years, right? The other seasons, you got 2 at 17, and then you're down at 14. So I think that the numbers speak volumes for a player. For those, if we're talking world class, but we're not talking about good, talking world class. Salah has world class numbers. Son has very good numbers. I don't think anyone can say that. I think Son has got very good numbers. If we're talking in the panthalons of world class, I don't think those numbers are world class. So now you say, okay, let's remove it, just the stats. Let's look at other factors. Let's look at big games. Well, Son's not done that either. Salah has. So again, if you're looking at 2 wingers that have both been in the Premier League for roughly the same amount of time, I think Son's done maybe 1.5, 2 years more than Salah. The differences are Salah's there, Son's there for me. And that's not knocking Son. I'm not knocking him. I just think Salah's a better footballer. I think he's a better impact player. And I think when the time comes, he digs Liverpool out of holes.
All the time.
Time again. And you look at the age. If I'm not wrong, let's double check. I've got both their details in front of me. So Son is 32, and he's going to be 33 next month or in July. Sorry. Mohamed Salah is 30. Bear with me. Mohamed Salah is 32, and he's going to be 33 next month. So they're both the same age. Look at the performances you're getting from Salah at this age, right? Mo Salah this year, for example, at the age of 32, nearly 33, has got 33 goals, sorry. That's without all of, I think he's got like 20 assists as well. I think he's got something like 50 goal contributions in the season. there's levels, guys. And I know people hate this because it's not just blindly bigging up every single Spurs player. But Son, for me, has always fallen just that little bit short of that bracket. Just a little bit. And I know people hate it. I know people hate me saying it, but I just don't think... I think if we were Liverpool fans, we'd all be going Salah superior, wouldn't we? We would. We'd all be sitting here going Salah superior. Is that fair, Dan? Is that fair analysis?
I'd agree with that totally. And basically, no one's bashing him. We're just saying he needs to turn up tonight and prove a point because he never turns up in finals. Whether you like the facts or not, whether people want to... So I'm not allowed to sit here and state because I'm being negative by saying Son is a patchy goal scorer. Fact. He's never been world-class as good as Salah. Fact. We need our captain to turn up tonight and actually turn up in a final and actually do something. So what... It might not have sounded great what I said, but facts are facts. Son don't turn up in finals. Same as Kane. And what we're saying is we need him to turn up in a final and then giving reasons, not just saying, oh, he's been crap in finals and he needs to turn up. Is that good enough for you now? Or do you want a reason and facts why I have this opinion?
And by the way, with this one, Reece, I think Salah is a world-class goal scorer. Do I think he's a world-class footballer? I.e., has he got the greatest technique, touch control, pass skill? I don't think he has. But the volume of output is just ridiculous. The volume of output is absolutely insane. I mean, he's had 5 seasons where his output's been over 33 goals per year in all competitions. That's massive numbers. Son's had 1 year at over 20 goals. So again, and people will go, oh, he's playing in a better team. But Son was playing in a great team for many years at Tottenham. Got to remember this, guys. Son's not always played in this poor Tottenham team. Son for 4 years was playing in a very, very, very good Tottenham team that was sweeping everyone aside. So
can I give you some stats on Son? So Son,
I love
Premier League goals, 333 appearances, 127 goals. Yeah, Salah, he's had 300 appearances, 185 goals.
Oh, there's levels. There's levels to this, man.
And this is why we need our captain to turn up for a game. We are giving reasons. We're not just giving stupid, we're not just giving stupid opinions. We're giving facts on why he needs to turn up. I'm justifying my point, if you want to put it like that, on why I have that opinion. And Son definitely needs to turn up today on the final. And for me, he definitely needs to be captain material because since he has been captain, he has been a very, very bad captain on that pitch. So we need him to fix that today. Of all days, he needs to turn up and score them goals and take control of the pitch, basically, and be a captain. Today is the day. So what else do you want me to say about it, really? Do you want me to just say, yep, we need Son to turn up?
People are sentimental, Dan. People are sentimental. It's if we were having this conversation about a player that played for Liverpool or Chelsea or Villa or Arsenal, we wouldn't be having this conversation. People would be going, yeah, he's a good player, not world class. When it's one of ours, I think we're so desperate to want people to be world class. It's the same Arsenal fans with Saka. Fuck me. They push the agenda so hard to make him like he's Yamal. Do you know what I mean? I like Saka, by the way. Saka's a top footballer. Not world class. I think he's a top footballer. But for me, if you're world class, games like against PSG, I hold every footballer to this standard, by the way, not just Spurs ones. I said before that game, go on then, Saka. If you're world class, fire Arsenal to the final. Get that ball, do something amazing. But they don't. Yeah, but they don't. So look, I'm not having a pop at Son, by the way. Right? I'm not having a pop. I just think there's levels. If you're going to call people world class and there's loads better than them, how can you call them world? Do you know what I mean? You can't just have 19 different layers of world class. Lamine Yamal, world class, right? 17, he is world class. Watch him play, watch his goals, watch his assists, watch him manipulate the football, technique, skill, world class. Son, I've always said it is there. Kane is an anomaly. Kane for me is world class. But again, in the big moments, Dan, I had the same opinion of him. I had the same opinion of him. Spurs fans lose their mind when you say it. Spurs fans, oh my God, you're attacking Kane. Sure. But how many finals did Kane play for Spurs and England?
And
you're
put
like,
it over the crossbar when it mattered.
Semi-finals.
All we are saying is we are saying the main players that need to turn up, and we are giving reasons. But again, this is where all of a sudden you give the reasons on why you're saying he needs to turn up because of what he hasn't done when we needed him to turn up. You're negative. You shouldn't be saying it. You should. Well, tell you what. Let me change this for you. Son is a world-class player. He's up there in the clouds and everything. He's going to smash it for us tonight. He just needs to do his usual and just be the captain as he usually does. Is everybody happy now?
That's what people want to hear, though.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what people want to hear. But again, I think it's difficult having this conversation with Spurs fans. If we were in a chat room now that wasn't, I mean, I've got 506 people in here. Big up to all of you. And by the way, 506 of you and only 135 likes is we're now at sunny levels. See, you all talk about world class. Stick some world class numbers in. If we were having this conversation, guys, and this was a different YouTube channel and there were 500 fans and none of them supported Spurs, there wouldn't be the love for Son that there is. There'll be people saying, really good player. There might be a few saying world class. But the problem is where the emotional attachment to these players is so big, people can't see past it. It's the same with anyone.
And Savva, it's about because Spurs don't have glory, they don't win things. These are the kind of things that fans kind of hang on to, like a player like Son over the years, who's given us good moments. But I mean, this is the sad fact of it, isn't it? We don't have anything to celebrate. We never do.
With this, where we need Son to turn up so much tonight is why he's getting focused on at the moment, because he is very important to what we need to do. So, okay, what other player needs to turn up then because they don't usually turn up? We need Romero, another one. Right, Romero needs to put on his 1 in every 15 world-class performance now. I'm basically saying the same with Romero that I'm saying with Son.
Look, Dan, Romero as well. He's got to step up tonight. You know, he's won a World Cup. It's his time as well. Can he help tonight? Get us? Can he keep a cool head like he did?
Another inconsistent player.
Yeah, he has been under Spurs. You're right, Dan. I mean, Romero, I want to see a disciplined performance from him tonight. I want him to contribute. You know, he could get in that box, win a header. You know, he can score, he can assist. We need a good performance from Son and from Romero and Van der Ven tonight. And Doggy as well. The Doggy, he's another player who he's hit and miss. You know, so it's another one. We'll see what he's like in a final. It's the biggest game of his career. You know, Porro as well.
Guys, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. First of all, you don't need to shout at me, right? Second of all, I've seen so many comments that say, this conversation isn't for today. This isn't for today. Jesus Christ, guys. If you lot have it your way, are we literally just sitting here and saying we're smashing Man U? There's no analysis. There's no football chat at all. We're just going to sit here and say we're smashing Man U. That's it. Look, at the end of the day, the world-class conversation is subjective. But for me, I think you've got to look at a number of factors. I've said this all along. I think far too many players are called world-class now. And I don't think there's many world-class players at all, Dan. I always say this. I don't think there's many around world football anymore.
No,
but everyone's
I said that earlier.
The best 5 in every position. Well, just because you're the best 5 in a position doesn't mean that all 5 are world-class.
I mean, you know, like someone says on here, smashing the players, undermining our player. Why am I undermining a player? Because I'm stating the fact that he don't turn up in finals and we need him to turn up today. Why am I undermining a player? Because Romero is. Why am I undermining my player? Because I'm saying Romero needs to be world class today because he is not a world class defender, but he has world class games.
You've got children that don't. They can't apply context. Dan, look, Son bashing. Saying Son isn't as good as Salah is bashing him. What are we doing? Oh, let's move on because a lot of people are really, really sensitive. It's so funny. Our fans are the best at this. We're so sensitive around all our footballers. Yeah. And then we wonder why we're not a top club that win things all the time. We don't know when to move players on. We don't know when to sell players. It's mad.
Okay.
Sorry for
Just
anyone
another
offended.
quick thing here. Angus McDowell, Declan Rice is not world class. Declan Rice is a very good player. He is not world class. Fact. He is not a world class player, for God's sake.
Agreed.
Again, this is where I feel people judge world class too easy.
Sorry, I thought you were going to carry on from that.
No, it is.
I agree.
We just call people world class too easy.
Look, I have a look. Look at the guy who came on last night. Rodri coming on for Man City. Everything about that man is world class.
That is a world class player.
His control, his passing dictates games. You see when he comes out of the, you see what he does for Spain. You see what he does for Man City. This guy is world class. Declan Rice for me, he's a very good midfielder. Listen, I'd love Declan Rice in our midfield. Take the Arsenal bit away. I think we all agree that Declan Rice walked into our midfield and would be our best player and our captain.
Yes.
Right?
Hands down.
But doesn't make him world class. Again, world class it used to mean something. It used to hold a lot of responsibility, guys, the world class tag. Now I feel like we just want every fan. You go to any club. Who's world class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you got 6 world-class players in your team. Yeah. All right. Why aren't you winning the league? Do you know what I mean? Like no, I think Man City, Rodri, world-class. Right. Haaland for what he does, world-class goals. De Bruyne, we know he's going now, but De Bruyne have been absolute world-class. Then the players around that are all very, very good footballers. But for me, not world-class. Right? They're all very good footballers. And those 3, as the spine, kept it all going. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not many in the league, is there, guys? There's not many in the league at all.
No.
World class.
I think it's the standards of players that some have seen and some haven't. And like I say, this is where I go back to, I struggle to call anybody world class compared to what I've seen. Go and take Kevin De Bruyne. He's a world class player. Or was. He's not he's lost it a little bit, yeah? He was a world-class player. But I can take him back 25 years and he don't get called world-class. Are you telling me that Kevin De Bruyne was as good as Del Piero? Never in a million years. That's where the standards have dropped.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Have dropped.
It's different.
He was not as good as Del Piero. And there's other ones you can bring up. Was he... but when you compare,
first of all, he didn't play in the same position as Del Piero, but I hear what you're saying.
Attacking midfield playmaker, they both done it. Del Piero done it there.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest players the Premier League has ever seen for 30 odd years there, Dan.
I'm not disputing it, but
Luka Modric, where does he stand then? Because I think he was world class.
There you go. And he still plays in the bloody team.
See, when you start throwing in names, right, like Modric, when we were talking about Pirlos, right, when you're talking about Zidane, these players, you go, there's no argument. No one argued they were world-class. Now, everyone's making a case for anyone that has a few good games or a few good months, world-class. World-class. You watch. Someone signs in the summer, world-class. World-class. He's world-class. Well, surely you've got to do it over a number of years. There are the exceptions. There are the Yamin Yamals, right? Who's been a pro footballer now for 2 years, and everyone in the world is going, you are phenomenal, right? I don't think anyone's going to argue he's not world class. But other than that, some people, they need to do it over time. Yeah. Again, Saka at Arsenal is a wonderful case in point. Cole Palmer at Chelsea had a brilliant year last year, and everyone, he's world class. No. Cole Palmer's a very talented footballer. He's a very good footballer, had a great year. What we do is, the moment they drop off a little bit, he's shit, he's well overrated. Hang on. Last year, everyone's telling me he's world class. Like, let people do it over a number of years consistently against their peers. Yeah? If I'm a goal scorer, if I'm Harry Kane, I'm going to be judged over the years against Lewandowski, against Erling Haaland, against Lautaro Martinez. against Sergio Aguero. These are the players that they're judging against each other, right? Nowadays, you've got a striker who bangs in 16 goals, 17 goals in a season, and people are going, world class. Sorry, why? World class when what? You're getting what? You're scoring 1 in every 2 games. Is that world class? No, that's a good striker. World class is when you go, God, he's played 38 league games and rattled in 35 goals. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what Haaland did. That's what Kane did. That's what Aguero did. That's what those boys did.
Another
Standards.
one.
Standards.
Was Michael Laudrup even considered world class then? No. But if Michael Laudrup played now, he'd be as good as any player out there.
Oh,
This is what I mean by where the standards have gone down. But he wasn't called world class then because there were significantly better players. Roberto Baggio. Do I put De Bruyne on the same as Baggio with skill? Personally, I don't. Some might do. There's other ones out there that you can go through. Ronaldinho. For me, Kevin De Bruyne don't touch him either. And then you go back even further. You go to like what's his name, Zico and stuff like that. Rivaldo when he was at his prime. You can go on and on and on about what you call a world-class player. And it is so much easier to get called world-class these days. I think this is just what we are trying to say. But and that is all we are getting at. I mean, Michael Laudrup was considered a good player back then, but that's all he was. He was a good player. Whereas you play him now, he'd be called world class.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, I'm not. I feel like we lose context. I feel like, Jamie, football fans like you can't seem to have a bigger picture. I'm not saying some would. I'm not saying one cup fight. For me, Son can do what he wants to do tonight. It doesn't change that I think he's world class. My point is doing these things regularly. My point is Declan Rice, yes, he captained West Ham to a European trophy, right? Yes, he banged in 2 goals against the current European champions in a quarter-final. Where was Declan Rice in a semi-final against PSG? You can do it in quarter-finals. I said this to all the Arsenal fans at the time. You're all cheering too soon. You're all cheering because you've knocked out a below-par Real Madrid. Get to the final, then start crowing. Like, win the final. Win the final. If Declan Rice puts in man of the match performances in the quarters, the semis, and the final, and leads them to Champions League glory, turn around and go, can't ask any more of my midfielder. Can't ask any more of him. But when we're bringing up quarterfinals, how many footballers out there in the world do you think have scored bangers in quarterfinals of competitions? They're not all world class.
Last one I'll say on it, and then I'll leave it at that. Tell me one player, just one, that touches Zinedine Zidane. Are you telling me Kevin De Bruyne touches Zinedine Zidane? No, he doesn't. Yeah, not in my opinion. And that is the difference between world class these days and them days. Kevin De Bruyne is world class now.
For consistency and for what he did over his career, absolutely Kevin De Bruyne is up there with Zinedine Zidane. You got to remember, Zinedine Zidane didn't really do a lot until about 24, 25 years of age.
That's when he proper kicks in, yeah.
And that's when it kicks in. Kevin De Bruyne, though, from a young age, look what he's done for the last 10 years in the Premier League. Hasn't he got like the record number of assists per minute, number of key parts, like but again, different footballers. I get it. If I want to go and watch a footballer, I'm watching Zidane, right? Zidane was just different gravy. But so I get it. I agree with your theory. I just think everyone, look, like Caicedo and Lavia are world class. No, they're very good midfielders. Lavia's played about 5 games of football. Caicedo, I really like. I think he's getting better and better. These aren't world-class players. Come on, dude. Like, no, come on.
I don't think either team we're playing now, like Man U or Spurs, there's no world-class players in either team.
Whoa.
And Fernandez is a very, very good player. I think he gets underrated, but for me, he don't touch world class. But he's a very good player. And I think Fernandez is one we definitely have to watch out for today. Me personally, the way I would deal with him is the same way that people deal with Maddison, because I think he's very similar to Maddison. He's a little bitch, same as Maddison. He's a little bitch. As soon as he gets a couple of kicks in the legs, he starts getting whingy, cry. As soon as it ain't getting his way, he'll get moody. And I think that Fernandez has got a very similar mentality to Maddison. Like I said, they're both a little bitch. As soon as they get a kick, they start crying.
Do you think Ange, Dan, sorry, mate, do you think Ange will actually man mark him? Do you think he'll have a plan for Fernandez tonight? Because I don't know about Ange. That sort of
I would
stuff.
hope he would. And what I'm talking about a plan with him is early on, sandwich him, give him a few kicks, make it a bit dirty for him. Because like I said, he's a little bitch like Maddison. He does not like it. I'm not saying any player likes being kicked up, but there's a lot of players who can take it with, okay, you want to play like that? I'll play like that. Fernandez ain't one of them. Maddison ain't one of them. They are two players that you can put off their game by being rough with them, in my opinion. And I think that's what we need to do with Fernandez when it matters.
But has Ange done this ever, managing us, kind of target a player or opposition player? I don't think he does he? He's more focuses on his
but I'm
team.
just saying what I think we need to do.
No, I agree.
That's all I'm saying. Like certain points that we need to pick up on. Same as I think the long balls going over the top from Porro would be a very good idea because we've got their defense is slow, very slow. Their wing backs, okay, they got some pace on them and that, but their defense is extremely slow, especially compared to ours.
I don't expect to see them come out too much, Dan. I don't expect to see them play a high line.
They're going to. No, nor do I, because they know on the pace, whether he's a good player or not, Richarlison is more than quick enough. Johnson, probably the slowest, quickest player I've ever seen, but that's because he can't take his man on, but he's still more pace than they've got in defence. Solanke, 50-50, Son, 100%. That is where we could definitely do them, I think, with long balls up front and going over the top.
Man United don't want a basketball match, do they? Man United, they don't want a basketball match. They're going to want to keep possession, control the game, slow it down as much as they can, and play on a counter.
By the way, just quickly, we'll come back to that 1 second. Guys, you can't have a guy that's 24 years of age, scored over 300 goals in his career, and we're not calling him world class. This boy's goal ratio is ridiculous. If Haaland can't be called world class, no striker in the world can be called world class. Like whether you think he's an amazing link-up player, whether you think he's an amazing footballer, his numbers are through the roof. This is silly. If we're going to do this, no striker stands a chance. No striker stands a chance for me.
He is a modern world-class player.
Agreed.
Take me back 25 years and I'll give you at least 5 to, and I'll give you, for this era, but take me back 25 years, I'll give you 10 strikers that are significantly better than Haaland. But that's just
in terms of his job, Dan, in terms of what he's bought for and putting the ball in the back of the net, the boy is crazy. I think what we like to do, not you, I think what we like to do is when a player is that good and does that well, we love it when they fall off a little bit. People love it. Oh my God, Haaland's gone 3 games without a goal. Yeah, he's dusted. He's finished. He's terrible. He's shit. He's bottled it. We don't look at, well, okay, he's been bought in, and I think he's got something like 100. Hang on, let me double check this because it's something ridiculous. His goal record at every club he's been at. I always hear, oh, well, he scores because he's at Man City. Well, he's played for loads of other teams other than Man City and always scored goals. Like, look, his goal record at Manchester City is 140 games and 120 goals. I mean, if you ask any striker in the world, you're going to get 120 and 140. Fucking hell.
Real Madrid would have him if they wanted. If they could.
Who's got 8.
It would be played for Real Madrid, wouldn't he?
For a modern day player, he is a world-class player. And again, this is where I just think a few people just genuinely don't understand the point I'm making, or a couple of us are making. Football has gone down standards and standards. Sure. Modern day football is, again, opinionated, but modern day football isn't half of what it was 20-25 years ago.
Yeah. It's more systems now, isn't it?
Exactly. It's more of a athletic sort of thing these days, robotic. And like I said, give me literally every world-class player that you can name now, and I bet you 90% of them don't even get into a world-class player 20-25 years ago. That is the point I'm making, where football has gone downhill. And don't tell me wow. Pirello
This
was
is
a
what you're dealing
world-class
with,
player.
Dan. This is what you're dealing with. Pirlo was one of the greatest passers of a footballer I've ever seen. Anyway, look, getting back to the Bruno Fernandez Man United thing, and I know there'll be channels out there that won't want to talk about Man U and their strengths. I'm a football channel, guys, right? I'm a football channel. We've got to talk about all things. Sorry, the pug's just having a little sneezing fit. For me, we know he's their danger. We know he is. Set pieces, goals, assists, penalties. We know this guy is their danger. What he's also bloody good at, lads, is the dark arts. Bruno Fernandez, I've always said it. If he plays for you, you love him. If he plays against your team, he's like a Robbie Savage. Yeah? In terms of, he knows how to ruffle feathers, but you want that in your side, right? He's like a Romero, but in midfield, right? Yep. And the thing is, you've got to say, is Bruno Fernandez is consistent. Year in, year out, he's consistent at what he does. He's been there, seen it, done it. Dan, you brought up a great point just there. Does Ange put someone on him? Where does Bruno play? Is he going to be part of a 3 up top? Is he going to be in a 2 in the middle? Is he going to be part of a 3 in the middle? This is the guy for me we've got to nullify. This is the danger man.
I think he'll be in the attacking forwards position behind the striker. He'll be in the pockets. He'll be trying to pick the ball up. He'll be the playmaker. He'll be spreading the play. He'll be looking to create. He is the danger man. I think Man U will sit with Casemiro or Ugarte in front of their defence. Yeah. And I think Fernandez will be the one. He'll be all over, a bit like Maddison for us. Yeah. So that's the danger. He's going to be the guy we've got to keep a close eye on. I mean, Højlund, I'm not too worried about. His record against Premier League teams is not fantastic. He's done okay in Europe.
Don't. I had this nightmare last night. Sorry to butt in. I had this nightmare last night that Højlund suddenly turned into prime Erling Haaland.
And he scored a good goal against us last season, didn't he? Huh? Was it last season or the season before he scored a smashing goal against us, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. The problem is Højlund, not Erling Haaland, gets a lot of chances in a game, fluffs his lines a lot. Yeah. Just got this horrible feeling.
But if we're looking at the team, Savva, and Fernandez is the danger man, right? You said Maguire, Casemiro with his experience. Those are the guys who could be the game changers for them. They have a bit of pace as well. They've got Dalot, who's available, Garnacho. You know, we can't push too high. Them fullbacks have got to defend. You know, we don't want that space given to those forwards getting in behind. So, you know, look, Man United, it's not a great team, but they do have some players on their day who can pull goals out of nowhere. Garnacho scored a great goal the other night. So, look, they've got ability and we've got to watch it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Dan, the other thing is there's... Danny, you got Amad Diallo, who is, again, bit stop-start in his career at Man United due to injuries and the previous manager, Ten Hag, not really wanting to give him a go. But we do know he's a tricky little customer. He's got good footwork. He's got pace. He beats a man. Just come back to fitness. He's another one. Surely we've got to make sure we don't give him one-on-one against Udogie. You know, we don't leave ourselves exposed down the channel for him and whether it's Mount or Garnacho on that side, whoever to double up.
It's the midfield, guys, isn't it? We've got to control the midfield. We've got to win the 50-50s. We've got to nick the ball off them and put our game on them. Yeah, we can't lose that midfield battle. Now, Man United fans are quite worried about a lack of pace they have in their midfield and their kind of strength. Yep. And compared to our midfield, Bentancur, Basuma, we've got a bit of power in there on their day if they turn up, because they don't turn up all the time. So, look, that midfield is crucial. We've got to dominate and we'll see.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, look, it's crazy. I mean, they're showing on Sky Sports News over this morning. You know, I've got it on in the background, and they're showing lots of different Man U teams that won trophies. and the caliber has fallen so much for them. I mean, I'm just looking at
Big time.
people winning penalty shootouts for Man U like Giggsy and Scholes and Rooney and Tevez and Ronaldo, and you're looking and going, well, it's not that. It's definitely not that. But guys, it's reflected in the fact that 16th is playing 17th today. This isn't coincidence. Both teams aren't good. Both teams have not been good. And I guess that's what almost makes this a more intriguing final, right? Because no one knows what they're going to get from Spurs and no one knows what they're going to get from Man United.
It's one of them things of you can even look at the game and just say who's going to be crapper on the day if you revert to the season, basically. You're playing 16th and 17th and you're saying that for a reason. Who is actually going to be shitter on the day? Is it going to be Man U? Is it going to be Spurs? Or is it going to be like a 1-1 West Ham game, sort of where it was just horrendous to watch? Or is it actually going to end up like a Barcelona Inter Milan game where it has you on the edge of its seats because it's a 4-3 game and there's 1 minute you're 2-0 up, 2-2, 3-2, whatever else? I don't think we actually know where this game's going to go, because for me, it's one of both ways. It's either going to be horrendous or it's either going to be edgy as sea.
It's not going to be a pretty game. It's going to be a horrible match.
I don't think it's going to be pretty either. And I think a lot of it is also going to come down to is who wants it more on the day and who isn't desperate. The thin line between wanting it more and desperate. You get desperate, you make mistakes, because that's when emotions take over. Same as getting angry, same as getting upset and everything else. That's when emotions take over. You just got to want that more and have the passion for it more.
Who's going to step up tonight? Who's going to step up and take it? Take it. This is the question I don't know in that Spurs team. Who is going to take it? Who's going to take the game for us? We haven't got anyone, to be honest, have we?
It's like what we were saying about Son. This is why we have said that Son needs to step up his gear tonight and be a captain and turn up in a final. He is someone who has got a capability of doing it. Romero, even from the back, if he gives a world-class performance like we know he can once in a blue moon, he can control that game to an extent from the back. If Porro has a brilliant game, we definitely know we can get some control and some setup and some playability from that side. And
punch me in the face.
There's a few things on there where we can get control of this game, but it also works the same way for them. Both team has been as shit as each other this year. Simple as that. No ifs, no buts.
Dan, it is the get out of jail free card tonight for someone, right?
Yes.
We need it to be us. We need to be, you know, when you are playing Monopoly and you land on, what is it? What's that square called when you get the,
when you get the free
you get
card or you go to jail.
Chance.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. We need it to be our turn to flip that over and get out of jail, because it is for both teams. Both teams won't care about the league after this, right? But the team that doesn't win is very much going to be, for the next week or two or 3 or 4 or for the summer, very much in the spotlight, Dan, because both these two teams have been dreadful. And this is their get out of jail free card.
And I think that's what's upsetting a lot of other teams, because I mean, technically, should 16th or 17th be in that Champions League? Not in a million years. But the rules say you win that Europa Cup, you get in the Champions League, like it or lump it. And it is a get out of jail free card. And like I've said before, I feel we need it more than Man U, because Man U, even if they don't get it within the next year or two, are going to be able to scrape their way back up there better than Spurs will. If we don't win this, it's going to put off managers coming to us, because they're basically picking up a team that nearly got relegated the season before. They're going to have no money to spend. We're not going to be able to attract players. We're not going to be able to attract managers. We're not going to be able to basically do anything. Whereas about 10 clubs above us, who have all got into Europe or very close to things or whatever else, they're going to be able to build on their team. Now, the next manager we get in might be good enough to actually get this team that we've got now playing to the standards that it should have been this season. But then those other 8 or 10 teams above us already going to have bought new players and everything else, and they're already going to be a year in front of us, in my opinion.
Does this team worry you
destroy.
guys, though, next year in the Champions League? Does it worry you a bit? I think so.
Does it? It's worried me this year. Look, obviously, this is a conversation for another day. Big up to my man, Aaron Talks Arsenal, wicked content creator. Big up to you, my man. Any Arsenal fans in the chat? I'm sure you have, but go and any fans. Aaron, he's very much like me, I think, in the way he talks about football. He doesn't do the whole bias thing. He says it as it is. I think, by the way, Chloe, I haven't spoken to you since then. I'm sure you had a very good day on Saturday. Chloe's a season ticket holder at Crystal Palace. So big up to you. I'm sure you had a great day against Man City. Well-deserved win. And good luck to Spurs. Thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. Really appreciate you, Chloe. Look, Dan, the difficulty bit. Look, we've got to get through tonight's game. The questions
100%.
will be asked, and it's not a question for today, but we can talk about it, is if we do get Champions League, what does the squad do? What does Levy do? Because this squad, with this manager in the Champions League, for me, gets annihilated.
It's long.
I think embarrassingly gets annihilated, if we're going to be brutally honest. Am I being harsh there? Does anyone, do you agree?
No, we have to build on this team 110%. Without a doubt, this team is not good enough for the Champions League in any means or manner. I mean, if you look at some of the beatings we've taken this year, and then some can say, okay, it's only by a goal here and there. If we was to go up against, with this team here and now, our best team, let's say our best team, no injuries, and we go up against Bayern Munich, we go up against Inter Milan, Barcelona, and plenty of other teams out there, we are going to be walking back destroyed with what Liverpool done to us. We go up against PSG, we are getting annihilated. We need to improve, and we need a manager to who can adapt to each game, to know when he has to defend and when he hasn't. Champions League, yes, it's going to be good in a lot of ways for what it can do for us.
Yeah.
But if we don't improve in that team and manager, we'll get absolutely destroyed in the Champions League.
But when have we ever really stepped it up in the Champions League in the transfer market when we've even qualified in the past? We've never gone out there and got the game-changing players, have we?
No, that's it. That's absolutely it, Dan. And listen, I saw someone yesterday saying, there was a few people saying, oh, I bet Levy doesn't want to win it. And I was like, you clearly don't know Daniel Levy if you don't think he wants the 100 million prize money that comes from getting into the Champions League. But the question's going to have to be, if we get into the Champions League, first of all, we're going to have to tighten up. You can't play this gung-ho football. You'll get absolutely annihilated, right? You'll get annihilated if you try and play this in the Champions League. Second of all, the better players are going to have to be scouted very well. And this is where I think a job for someone like a Paratici, we're going to have to look for those players. They're not going to be world-class. We don't sign world-class players, but they need to be the players that have been there, seen it, done it, that come in. And I think we all agree, and I'm sure everyone in the chat will agree, it needs to be players that come in this summer where every player that comes in is better than somebody that's already in the 11. I don't want to see more players come in and we go, could be good in 4 years. I don't want to see Tells. I don't want to see Grays. I don't want to see Bergvall. We've got them. We've got Bergvall and Grays now. I don't want to see Yangs. We've got a Yang. Don't want to see Odebirds. We've got Odebirds. Don't want to see a Dogie. We've got a 21-year-old, whatever he is, a Dogie. We need to bring in some pros, some senior pros that have been there, seen it, and done it, and that can cope with the games.
Wage structure all day long, isn't it? The wage structure. This is the biggest thing. When are we ever going to push the boat out in this? Why are we being held back so much with this wage structure? What is it, guys? I mean,
but you say that. You say that. If you look at a lot of the clubs that got very good players, Dan, we've got players on more money than those players. It's for me, I think it's more about what are we selling them? I think that's more important. What are we selling them? So if I'm a player and Tottenham Hotspur come to me, I mean, let's use an example of someone who's if I'm let's say if I'm Eze, for example, just an example. I think if I'm wanted by Spurs and I don't know, maybe Newcastle want him, maybe Villa want him, I'm saying I've seen what they've done over the last few years. I see what they're implementing. I see where they're going. What are you guys doing? Do you know what I mean? Who else are you targeting?
Yeah.
I don't want to be Solanke of last year. And what I mean by that is I don't want to be the main signing with 4 kids. Yeah. I want to know, you're bringing, okay, you want to bring me in. Who else? Yeah. Okay, you're trying to get Edison from Atalanta. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to get Jonathan David from... Yeah. Okay. Right. That's what I think we need to sell it on. I think it needs to be, what is the plan? Not just how much money can we offer them? What is the plan? Who's the director of football? What's their vision? And at the moment, we've just been like this for years and years and years. No vision, no path, no strategy. Aston Villa will rock up, Dan List. Right now, anyone who's going to join Aston Villa is going to go, I see what Aston Villa have been building the last 3 years. I see that they've got Monchi as director of football. I know Unai Emery's a serial winner, right? They're buying people now. They're getting the likes of Asensio and Rashford, Morgan Rogers and what... I think you can see the path. For me, we need a path. We need something to sell.
Well, this is happening, isn't it? This summer, there's going to be a restructure, right? This is what we're hearing. This is what we think is going to happen. So it's like what you said, Savva. We need to approach, say, 3 top players. You tell that player we're signing that one and that one as well, so they know that we're serious. Get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Completely. Absolutely, completely, mate. This is what I've been saying for years. You can't just rock up to a top player and we go, right, you're the only top player we're signing and the rest are going to be 18, 19-year-old kids. Why are these players going to leave good clubs to come and join a project? You know, if you're Man United, I bet you, like, they've already got Cunha, right? If I'm now, Danny, like, if I'm, Cunha's in the bag for United, all but done, right? If Man United now go, for example, to a Gyökeres, just for example, before everyone goes mad, just using players, hypotheticals, and say, Gyökeres, we want you to join to be part of our new look front line. Oh, hang on, you've already just signed Cunha, haven't you? Okay, I like that. Oh, you're in talks with Edison. Okay, right? It makes a massive difference, doesn't it? They see the caliber you're bringing in. They want to be a part of that. They don't want to be a part of 18-year-old youth projects.
No, exactly. And that is why I've stuck on it all season, that we wasted 40 million on Gray. We need to go out and get players that are ready to play now, that can take us. And especially if we go into Champions League, I don't want to see Archie Grays in here. I don't want to see young players coming in that have potential. We need players that can do it there and then.
Look, I agree 100%. The whole thing needs looking at, changing up. This buying young players and nobody else really is. It's got to stop. Obviously, such a key thing is the manager. Who, if Ange goes, who are we going to bring in? That's key. That's going to be. Will they be able to attract the players? I mean, a manager coming in, a new manager will sort this team out straight away, and there will be a natural improvement. But that will only take you so far. You need the top quality signings. If you really want to challenge and push on and be competitive season in, season out, the whole recruitment has got to be better. So much better. Otherwise, what we're doing here, we're just carrying on, floating around, kind of challenging, but not getting there. And it's just the same old story year in, year out.
By the way, just quickly, just on a tangent really quickly, they've got a list of the Europa League top goal scorers this season. Bruno Fernandez is top with 7. Højlund has 6. So I'm just putting it out there. Take whatever you want from that. Just saying. There's no Spurs player in sight. As you can imagine, there's no Spurs player.
Who is our top goal scorer in the Europa? Is it Solanke?
Great question. Anybody? Really good question. I genuinely don't know.
Would it be Johnson?
Sophie. How you doing, Sophie? Another fan who has seen her team win a trophy. She is a Geordie. Big up, Sophie. Your team are right in the thick of it, aren't they, for the Champions League fight? So good luck to you guys on Sunday. I think you should be doing it. I know you've already won a trophy. But what you were saying, Dan, I mean, if Spurs this summer went out and listen, okay, I'm going to indulge. I'm going to channel my inner 20-year-old here, right? If Spurs ran it this summer and went, right, we're going to sign 3 players, just 3 players, right? We're going to sign Mbeumo. We're going to sign Paulinho. and we're going to sign Jonathan David. If you said to me, we're only signing 3 players, but those 3 players come straight in that 11, right? And we're going to have a manager that plays in a proper way, I'll say, I'll rip your hand off for that. Don't need to spend 200 million. Bring them in, right? The players that they're replacing, the likes of Brennan Johnson on the right, the likes of drop them to the bench. Suddenly, look at what those 3 players alone. And realistically, guys, should those 3 players be completely out of the realm? You've got Mbeumo, who plays for Brentford, right? You've got Paulinho, who's not getting a game for Bayern Munich. And you've got Jonathan David, who's on a free transfer. So 3 transfers there that I think completely change. You've now got Mbeumo, who gets bundles of goals and assists, beats a man, runs at players. Jonathan David's a natural goal scorer, which Solanke is not. I know he's got other skill sets, but Jonathan David's a goal scorer. Paulinho is a number 6. Now, I've got a midfield of Paulinho, Bergvall, and Maddison. Yeah. Right? I've got Sonny left. I've got Mbeumo right and Jonathan David through the middle with a back 4 of Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, and Udogie and Vicario. Suddenly, I like that team. Suddenly, we've got some square pegs in square holes, haven't we, guys?
Those names, Savva.
Football manager, and I've not one of those 3 I've picked out is world class. Is that fair? Not one of them is going to be unobtainable.
Yeah. That's realistic, Savva. Those 3 names there are attainable. Yeah. Now, did this club and the board and the recruitment have that thinking like us? Yeah. Go out, get sensible signings. They're not out of our price range. I think we can get them. I think we can encourage them and get a decent manager who can manage this team, set them up properly. And look, we go again. But the worry is, guys, will we do it? Because until I've seen it, I just never believe it.
Well, the worry is, Dan, look at it this way, right? If Ange stays, he doesn't play with a 6, right? And that leads me to believe that we're going to be just as wide open next year as we were this year.
Every good team has always had a good 6 on them. They've always had a good DM on them. Literally every brilliant team I've ever seen has had a solid DM. I don't think it'd do us no harms tonight. But again, we know we're not going to play like that. That is why I think we've got to use Bentancur and Basuma to sandwich Fernandez when needs be. Go a bit rough with him. Just be careful, sort of thing. Okay, yellow card's a yellow card. You don't want it too early in that, but you can knock him about a little bit. Just give him a bit of pain in the ass for the game, sort of thing. Because, like I said, he's very bitchy, like Maddison. But then we also have to watch it that if we invert, we are going to leave ourselves so wide open. Or even the other problem we do is when one inverts, the other one's still up the other end of the pitch. So we still got only 2 at the back. It's another thing that I think he's got to look at.
Well, our chances decrease. Our chances decrease. If we play that inverted fullback nonsense, our chances will lessen. If we play more secure, not the high line, not inverted fullbacks, we've got a much better chance of winning this game. 100%.
Look, for me, I've always said this. I don't think football is rocket science. I genuinely don't. I feel like so many managers now want to overcomplicate everything. Yeah. Let's just say the 11 I've just named, right? The 11 I've just named. Right? You got Paulinho that now sits in front of that back 4, meaning if you do invert a little bit, it's all right. Paulinho drops in, senses the danger, acts as a 3rd man at the back, if you will. You've now got that conduit between the back 4 and the midfield, which is Paulinho. You've then got Paulinho who gets the ball to the likes of the James Maddisons and the Mbuemos and the Sons, whoever you want out there. You've now got some balance. You've got width, pace, goals. You've got a clinical goal scorer and you've got somebody that protects the back 4. And we don't have to be sitting there every game, guys, going, who's going to run through us at will? But my question is this, for all the people that do want, I'm not going to do Ange in, Ange out thing now. It's the wrong day for that. But for all the people that do like Ange, they don't ever seem to talk about the fact that we don't do that. Like, will he adapt to that? If he stays, is he going to realise I need a number 6? I need a midfielder that sits in front of the back 2/4 and protects. It's not rocket science, is it, lads?
It's simple stuff, Savva. It makes sense. It's sensible. I just wish the club thought more like us. You know, some of us guys, how we want our team to play, who we want to sign. simpler tactics. You know, it's just crazy what's happened this season with what we've seen and the failures of Ange's management. I don't want to talk about Ange today, but I mean, look, what's happened this season has been, it can never happen again. Let's put this right here. We cannot see a season like this again next year. Yeah, Ange in, Ange out, whatever. We can't do it. It just can't happen, guys. I can't watch that again. What's happened this season? It's got to change. It's got to change massively. And the worry is obviously if we win this, because Ange in this conference yesterday seems to think the job's not done and he's not going anywhere. I don't know. I don't know if he means that in his career. His career's not finished. Probably more that, because he must know that 21 league defeats, the worst in our history, you know, is unacceptable for many manager, win Europa League or not. Yeah, so come on.
He stated that if he wins, he ain't going nowhere. Clear as day. Not by his choice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. And if he stays, he stays, right? But he's got to adapt. He's got to adapt. What we can't do is we can't just win. We can't just win the Europa League and think that covers over all of our tactical deficiencies for an entire season.
And the thing is, Savva and Dan, the worrying thing is, like Ange a few weeks ago or a month ago, he says that we don't have to change our recruitment strategy, which I just think is absolutely stupid. He actually come out and said it. He said, "Oh, it's all right. What the club are doing, bringing in the younger players." That worries me.
Especially if we get into Champions League. Again, this is where we go on with, if we do have this winning mentality of getting in the Champions League and everything else, and then we do go and sign a load of other kids, where's that going to get us? And plus, from the Champions League now, you don't get dropped to the Europa, do you? So once you're out, you're out. So today, we've got to win that game for so many reasons.
Yeah. Bigger than Ange, isn't it, Dan? Bigger than Ange. It's much bigger than that.
We've got to win it for the club, whether it's for the next manager, for him, for whoever. We need to win this to get somewhere. I think we can win this, but then you do have the question of where do we go after?
Let's worry about that tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hang on. I just want to almost like this. Sorry, almost like this. Just want to show you this. So I just mocked it up, and we can change the formation. Look again. How much better would we look? And again, I've not added any world class footballers to this. I've not added any world class footballers to this. Look at that. Now you can tinker about with Palhinha sitting in the six. I can only do so much with the football formations, by the way, guys. I can't actually do what I want to do. You can almost do this. You can almost do this. Right?
I mean, Palhinha is one I think we can definitely go for, because it hasn't worked for him at Bayern Munich, and not to the standards that they expected anyway. And I think he's one that where they still owe us money, we could get, I say on a cheap. I think he's one we could pull in and it wouldn't really affect our pay structure on what money we have to spend, because Bayern Munich still owe us significant money.
But how disappointing that yesterday you've got Fabrizio Romano coming out and saying that Spurs are looking at options to try and get the Tell deal done, and you think, oh my God, really? Like, we don't. Is that what we need?
No. We need someone like Palhinha to go in there. I mean, me still personally, I play with three at the back. That is just how I play football, and I think the team is definitely made for that. Because again, even with playing four at the back there, you can't use Udogie and Porro as right back and left back, because they are not right back and left back. They are wing backs. Neither of them are good at tackling in particular or defending. Spence is better than the pair of them. You're better off sticking Spence on the left or the right instead of one of them two. I'd stick him on the left over Udogie personally, because I think Porro gives us more threat going forward. And that is again why I say I think if we win this, there's a lot that needs to be changed on that team to give it some credibility for the Champions League. Otherwise, we will just get defeated in every single game in a very bad way.
And it's the players coming in. That lineup looks great, Savva, but it's the players behind that as well, which is important. Left back, a doggy cover as well. We need to think about. We definitely need another left back. Right back, Spence, okay.
You've got Spence.
So
let's be fair. You've got Kinski as your backup keeper and about 9 others. You've got Spence and Porro. You've got Dragoshin and Danso. Then you've got 2 young players coming up behind them in terms of Phillips and Vuskovic. You've got Ben Davies at left back. Yeah, you need another left back, but Ben Davies is still there. Then you've got people like Brennan Johnson, right? Bentancur, Basu. These people, all right, some will leave, but some of them dropping down to the bench. Do you know what I mean? You've got, listen, I know this isn't Football Manager, but I'm just giving an example here of how 3 players for me changes the complete shape. You've now got a number 6. You've got a winger that actually beats his man and scores goals. And you've got a goal scorer up top. Yeah, no inverted wingers. You know, you've actually got pace and width out wide. You've got creativity from Maddison. You've got the guy who drives forward with Bergvall as your box-to-box, and Paulinho sits. I just don't think it's rocket science. Now, listen, people will go, he won't come. There are other footballers we could do this with. I'm just using 3 names. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing here, guys, is using 3 examples. One is a free transfer, Jonathan David. Paulinho, by the way, I've just checked. Paulinho is on £162,000 a week sterling, which is less than Maddison, which is less than Romero, which is less than Son, which is less than Werner. But again, all of this is if we get Champions League. If you don't, it's not worth thinking about today, but if you don't, it's going to be a very different transfer window, guys.
That is why today is make or break. Simple as that. It is make or break. And I think it's more make or break for us than it is Man United, because Man United will still attract players. They will still spend the wages, treble what we do. They will still spend double the money we do on a player quite happily. So if we don't win, again, it goes back to the point of what we're saying. If we don't win this, we're going to not have a pot to piss in. We're going to have no reason for any good manager to come over to us unless we slam the money on the table and he's more money orientated, which I believe you can still quite easily do, because I still feel that football is a lot more mercenary than it ever has been. But we are going to struggle severely because we are just going to have no attraction to us. We're going to have no money to spend. And it's not going to be good. We need to win this to rescue this club.
How big is this game, guys? If we just have a think here, this is the biggest game since. What's pending on this game? I can't remember.
This is the biggest game since I've been alive.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. And I know people, I know
the after effects.
I know people are going to say the Champions League final, but when we made the Champions League final, we had qualified for the You think about it. We'd qualified for the Champions League through the league, right? We already had, you think it was a triple whammy. We had the Champions League revenue for that season when we got to the final. You already had the Champions League revenue for the next season because we'd qualified, right? And the pressure was more about winning a trophy. This, for me, and I know loads of people have come back at me and you, Dan, for saying this in the last couple of shows where they don't get what we're saying. This, for me, is no longer about just lifting a trophy.
It's not.
This is about Aston Villa, Newcastle. These teams are making moves. These teams are spending big. These teams have infiltrated that top 6, the big 6, which doesn't exist anymore. Spurs and United have dropped out of that. These 2 teams are forcing their way. Man City are still there. Liverpool's still there. Chelsea's still there. Arsenal's still there. If Man United beat, again, this is the negative side of it. Man United win tonight. Man United will be back in the Champions League, buying players like Cunha, buying probably players like, I don't know, Gyökeres or whoever they're going to buy to fit the Ruben Amorim system. That's why this game for me is so fundamentally important, Dan, because I don't think people realize how low the transfer budget is going to be. I don't think they realize that people like Romero, Kulusevski, maybe the likes of Maddison might start going, hang on, we're at that age in our careers I can't be not in Europe. I can't not even be in the Conference League or the Europa League. So this is fucking huge for the trophy, for the revenue, for the fans, for the manager, for his reputation, for Daniel Levy's reputation. This is fucking massive.
What do they call it? Those moments. What's those moments called? Do you know when you call it a moment in time? What there's a saying. I can't think
Sliding
of it.
doors.
That's the one. Sliding doors. Yeah.
It is. And again, I repeat, it is make or break. Because if we don't win this, we ain't going to be able to put the money on the table for a basic player, let alone a good player. Whereas we get the Champions League, we can offer Champions League. We can offer, if Ange is going, there's a new manager there. We're going to get players in there, and we can actually make contacts and put the money down. But if we don't, we're screwed. We are not going to have anything. The sad thing about it, and it is a bit of a sad thing about it, is for me, it's not even the cup that's the most important thing. It's the after effects that are going to be more important.
Massive.
Yes, we need this cup being Spurs. We want this cup being Spurs. But it's the after effects again. This is make or break for Spurs for the next 2 to 5 years. I've had some people say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's why I'm saying 2 to 5. And if we don't win this, yeah, the next manager might be able to come in and get this team playing to its standards, but the other teams will already be a year ahead of us. And then if we don't get Champions League the following season, they're going to be 2 years ahead of us. Newcastle, why can't they get anybody, even though they're the richest club? It's all to do with the revenue and everything else and the income. Now that they're basically, I'd say they're going to get in the Champions League, they can now put the money down on the table and say, there you go, we can pay this. We can pay your wages. We can offer you Champions League. And players will turn and look. If you haven't got the money, you can't do nothing.
Listen, it's so important. It is. And I know there'll be people going, oh, well, okay, we got to the final and lost. It's unthinkable. And this is why I've laughed all the way along, guys, when people are saying to me, Savva doesn't want to win this game. It's like, I don't think people understand.
Well, you just said it, Savva. You just said it. You just said this is the biggest game in your life.
This is the biggest game. Forget my feelings towards the manager. My feelings towards a manager really shouldn't rattle as many people as it does, Dan. Right? I've never known anything like it. It's like if I sit here right now and said, I don't, by the way, Tom Hardy's the greatest actor in the world. If other people didn't believe it, I don't know why they're so rattled by it. It really doesn't matter. I don't like the manager, but he's put us in this position where we save ourselves. Right? Danny is absolutely right. We're going to be going into that transfer market. We know Romero's. There's not a chance Romero's sticking around. We know that. I don't think he stays even if we get Champions League. I think he's gone.
No, not
right. Like Kulu. Kulu will be wanted. For me, he's an Italian player. He's got. I think he's going to get offers from Italy. For me, Kulu's going to be wanted. Right. I think James Maddison, depending on if this manager stays or not, he will want to go. I don't think James Maddison will want to sit around and play like this again. I really don't. So now all of a sudden you're losing your better players in a year where you haven't got the money or Europe to attract players to replace them. Now what we're looking at is we are looking at Matisse Tells. Now we are looking at 19, 20-year-olds that everyone's going to go, oh, it's brilliant. Now we are looking at playing Archie Gray and Bergvall in midfield, right? Now we are looking
relegation.
Right. So I genuinely don't think, and this is what I love. Someone sent me a clip this morning. I'm not going to mention any names. There was a clip where a YouTuber was talking about fans like me. They said fans like Savva. I'm not just trying to be a narcissist here. They said my name. Fans like Savva, they don't want to win because of their agenda against Ange. Fucking hell. My love for Spurs far outweighs my dislike for Angepostecoglou, right? Because if we lost tonight, yeah, does it cement Ange going? And I'm happy. Well, I'm happy that Ange is gone, but he leaves behind a rubble of, look at the state of this. Right? If he wins and we get into the Champions League, now all my attention goes to knock, knock. Hello, Mr. Levy. Hello, Daniel Coys. This is now on you. And this leads me to this comment here. I'm going to do some super chats actually while I'm here. Terry said, Savva, do you actually think the Champions League will help us spend more this summer? Reason I ask is because we don't get Champions League money until after Champions League next summer. Terry, but they can forecast it forward. They can spend the money knowing it's coming in, like what any business would do. If you haven't got the money coming in a year's time, you can't put that in your P&L. That's the difference, right? I can go and spend money knowing, hang on, can I go into a deficit? Can I borrow this money knowing that I'm getting it in a year? Yeah, I can. Right? But at the moment, if you're not in Europe, if you're not in any European competition, you can't do that. Big up to you, Terry. Much love. You always make me think. That's what I like about you, Terry. I like comments that are thought-provoking. Not, Savva, you're an idiot. Boring. Give me thought-provoking comments. Big up to you, Aussie Ange Hater, with a super sticker. Big up today. We don't hate anyone. Today, we love everyone. We've got to win this tournament. Big up to you, Aussie Ange Hater. Really appreciate that. My man, Andy Lester. Big up, Savva. Was only joking about the tattoo. Andy, if I got a tattoo, my wife would leave me. Like, trust me, I am not that. I'm not suited to it. I would look like an idiot. I'm not that type of guy. Look how cool Danny is with his tattoos. I ain't got that. I can't carry it off. It's not me. Big up to you, Andy. Appreciate that. Arsenal, just a spicy. Spurs, big up to you, my man. Who do you want to win tonight? Is it your North London rivals, or are you wanting Man United? And you can't say no one because someone's going to win. Stanley, give me that trainer.
And they will be watching. They said they're not, but they will be.
Oh yeah, they'll be watching.
Big up to you. Big up to Vinny. How you doing, my man? I said world class for me is someone who can change a game on his own. Haaland ain't that. Disagree with that. Haaland, you don't score over 300 goals in your career by 24 if you're not a world-class player. You just don't. Sorry. The fact that Norway doesn't even qualify for a major club proves it. Does it? So because Norway as a team aren't good enough, we're now saying... So Ryan Giggs didn't go to a single tournament. Is Ryan Giggs not world-class and one of the greatest players the Premier League's ever seen? Come on, man. This is clutching at straws here. Big up to you, though. Big up to Ricky Proctor. How you doing, Ricky? So big up, Savva. All the best for tonight. As an Arsenal fan, I hope United win, sure. But just as a fan, I think you deserve happiness. Very nice of you to say. Question. Ange out if you win the Europa League and Super Cup. Listen, Ricky, I'm trying desperately today to not talk about Ange out because it will get clipped and it will be all that people think I care about. Today, I don't care about Ange out. Ask me at 11 p.m. tonight. Ask me at 11 p.m. tonight, right? And you'll get your answer. Big up to you, my man. Thank you, Ricky. Really appreciate that. Big up to Dan List. You need to jump, don't you?
I do. And I just want to say big up to everybody in the chat. Big up, Danny. Big
Take
up
it easy,
Billy,
mate.
I hope you're good, man. Haven't seen you for a bit. Big up, Savva. Big up, chat. Come on, boys. Let's do it tonight. Let's get it over the line.
It's
Finally
long time
win
no
the
see, my
trophy.
friend.
What's that?
It's a long time no see, my friend.
Yeah.
How you doing,
man? Yeah, I'm good.
He doesn't like you, Philly. You've turned up and he's buggering off. It's not a
Yeah,
coincidence,
no,
right?
it's personal,
No.
isn't it?
No, we'll get you on stream soon, man. Big up anyone. Guys, just one final thing. I'm on the road to 1K. Any subs, much appreciated. I'm getting there. It's been a great season, first season on YouTube. And yeah, let's hope it ends in glory. Big up, chat. Big up, everyone. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Dan. If one of my mods could put Dan's link in the chat, please all subscribe to him. There's 596 of you in here. And he's not that many off of 1,000. So please go over there and subscribe, share the love. It's a cup final day. If we can't share love today, then stop the earth. I want to get off. Big up, Dan. Much love, bro.
Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
See you later. Big up to Jordan, who said, if Crystal Palace can beat Man City in a cup final, we can beat this Man United team. No excuses. We have thrown away many league games for this occasion. Jordan, you've read my mind because that is what I wanted to talk about next, right? That's what I wanted to talk about next. By the way, if any of you hate my face, today's not the day to be seeing it. I'm going to be on YouTube a lot. Big up, Jordan. Let's talk about this, guys. We've heard for the best part of 4 or 5 months now that the league doesn't matter. It's all about the Europa League. That all boils down to this moment, doesn't it, guys? Because if he wins it, you're going to have those people that go, there you go. That's why we concentrated on this. If he loses it, it looks dreadful. Barry, welcome to the show. You're fraud. I'll be nice to you today. Welcome, Barry. You look nice today. How are you?
Don't try and pretend, yeah. You can try and pretend with this Ange out and don't want to talk about it and try and be all all nice. I've seen your messaging group. I'm going to leave this group if this is what we're going to do today. You threw a proper buddy. You threw a proper buddy.
No. I asked Lubo. I messaged Lubo and said I'll wind the group up. He said no. He said no one will believe you're leaving the group.
No,
and I said they will.
No one believes it.
No one believed it. Guys, that comment is so true, right? This is what we've been told, that throwing all those league games was for this moment. So there is zero excuse. Resting all the players for 2 weeks, I've been told, is a really good idea. No excuse. There are zero excuses, are there, guys? Today is zero.
There's no excuse. And look, I know I came into the group this morning with a potty mouth, so I have gone and washed it out, Philly. It was F this, F that, F this, F that. It was just like I don't know what got into me. But please, just tonight, we just deserve it, right? We for everything that we have to go through for all these other fans, for everything that's happened with everything. We've put the league to one side. We've rested players. We've done everything that we shouldn't have done. Just give us something nice for once, please. The football gods, if you're listening, tonight is the night where I want to have happy tears, right? I want to just not be sat there like thinking at the end of it. All I want is for us to turn up, play well. Look, if we don't, whatever happens, if we've given 110% and we've left everything out there, we can't ask for much more. But
fucking cat, nah, I'm not doing that. Nah. We've thrown an entire league campaign for this. I'm not asking. Nah, they've got to win. They've got to win this. No, we're not doing this. No,
we do need to win it. We do need to win it. You're right. No, we're not doing this. Oh well, no. All right. What would Emerson Royale do? He's a winner. You need to be a winner like Emerson Royale, Barry.
Yeah, he wasn't a winner on Saturday, though, was he, though, mate? Come on now. Listen him on the bench here was enough overrunning to win that match, innit? Come on now.
In Italy again, mate. Let's not do this today of all days. You're right, Savva. We need to channel our inner Emerson Royale with the dancing, with the positivity, with everything to win a trophy. Emerson Royale and Heung-min Son, trophy winners 2025.
Let's do it for Emerson.
Well, let's do it for Emerson. If that's what we need to do, then that's what we need to do, you know. But look, you're right. We need to do it. There's no excuses. There will be nothing. But whatever happens, when we win later, I'm going to say when we win later, let's not do the Thursday thing and go, well, I told you, Andrew always wins in his second season and do all that. Let's just enjoy it and let's celebrate.
That will never happen.
I know it won't, but it's nice to say, right? It's nice.
I agree. I would like to think that at least for the hour, at least for the night, right? We can all have an inquest tomorrow about who said what, but at least for tonight, that the first thing people will do will be jumping on YouTube, jumping in social media and being happy. You know, there's going to be loads of people that the first thing they do is go, they can't celebrate. They can't celebrate. You know, the fans that have traveled around the world, not allowed to celebrate now, though. You know, forget all the season ticket money I spent and all the shirts I bought and the years of being a Spurs content creator, not allowed to celebrate if we win tonight.
There's only one person that can't celebrate, and that's Lubo, because he's an absolute fraud and he loves Daniel Levy.
Lubo loves Levy. He does love Daniel Levy. Nicholas Nichols, what can we talk about the game now, lads? We've been live 2 hours, 3 minutes. We've been talking about the game the whole bloody time. What are you talking about? Jesus. I mean, Philly, hello. How are you?
Well, how you doing, Savva, mate? It's a long time. Well, it's since last week anyway. Nice to see you again.
Yeah,
nice to see you, Danny.
I can imagine.
Harrison Royale, nice to see you again, sir. But I'm going to add on to that point here about tonight's game. Like you talked about the players here, like Son showing up and having to perform tonight. The same thing with the team. They have to stand up tonight, and put up or shut up. Time for them to get on that picture and win this game. You've thrown away so many games this season, so let's see what was all worth it. Let's see them go and put a performance on tonight. I don't want to hear about oh, we have world-class players here, but none of them perform yet on the day. I don't want to hear that. No more excuses, man. I want to see it tonight. I want to see them on the pitch tonight, go out there and prove that they are and capable of winning this tournament.
Yeah. Look, Jordan, hang on, just quickly, Jordan. I genuinely don't think you get the magnitude of this game. Yeah, we talk about winning a trophy, but the magnitude, getting Champions League isn't a bonus. It's an absolute necessity. We've built this massive fuck off stadium which has debts, right? The outlay every year at Tottenham is huge. Other teams have overtaken us. For me, I get what you're saying, bro. I do, but for me, it's so much more. It's so much more than just lifting a trophy. I love that for the fans. I love that for players like Son, for players that have been here a while, like Ben Davies. I love that for them. But as a fan base and as a football club, we've got to have Europe. We've got to have Europe.
But the problem with Champions League, Savva, I've said this to you before, is that I'm looking at beyond this. Yeah, and I know I gave up. Seeing Tottenham in the Champions League under Conte. I said I didn't want to see Tottenham in the Champions League again. I said when you compare our window with Aston Villa in the last summer, and what they did in the Champions League and the players and quality that they brought in, like a Nana. All right, and you look at Tottenham's one year with bringing in the Pigeon. There are levels to this game, Savva, and I don't want to see Tottenham come into a Champions League window and just going by players like the Pigeon. That is useless. What's that going to achieve in the long run? Which is why I just said I don't want to see Tottenham in the Champions League, because you just waste it. So after a while, you become the little boy who cried wolf. We need Champions League football to do what? What are you doing in Champions League football? If you're not in the tournament to win the tournament, or to even compete in the tournament, there's no point in you being in the tournament, bro. You're just wasting people's time.
Yeah, but Phil, then why are we even in the Premier League then?
No, but the thing is here, Dan, right? We've qualified for the Champions League 7 times in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but you just said, what's the point of being in the tournament? What's the point of being in the tournament if you're not there to win it? Then why are we in the Champions League? We're not going. Why are we in the Champions League? Then why are we in the Premier League? We're not going to win it.
Yeah, but but you got no choice. That's just a normal league. But to be in the Champions League, you got to qualify for the Champions League. You got to prove that you're good enough to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, but I don't think on this one, mate, you can pick.
It.
You're picking and choosing as you're pleasing here. I don't think this one is picking and choosing as pleasing. We ain't in the Premier League to win it. Yeah, of course we want to win it, but we ain't going to do it. We want to win the Champions League, but we ain't going to do it. So you can say that about anything. We need this Champions League for different reasons. Yes, being in it is all good. We know we ain't going to win it, or very, very unlikely. But without that Champions League, we ain't got a pot to piss in.
Yeah, but then when
we can't attract nothing. Yeah, but I don't care right now, because without that Champions League, we've got no money. We've got no attraction for a manager, no attraction for players, no money you can put down on the table and basically say, right, we are willing to pay 50 million for a player or whatever else in that. We've got nothing. So whether we're going to win that or not is irrelevant. We need that to get up to scrape up a level or two. If we don't, then we get the next manager in who might get this team playing to its standards of now. But there's going to be 10 teams that have already paid money, got better players than us because they are in Europe. Now they're a year or two in front of us, and we will be absolutely screwed. Because then how do we get into it next season when we've only just got the team playing now of its standards, what it should be now, when everyone else is a standard above us now because they've upped their team and that. And then what do we do on the third season when we don't go in the Champions League because we can't get into Europe and the other teams are up? Now we're 3 years behind. We need this. It's make or break.
Yeah,
Let's
but
be
Danny,
fair.
but
If
Danny,
we
I'm
go
going to say
into the
this to you.
Champions League, if we go into the Champions League, Philly, right? Let's be fair. Is anyone seriously sitting here going that our aim next year is to win the Champions League?
No, it's not. But it's to compete,
right.
though. That's the thing.
No. I get this. I kind of meet halfway in the middle of you and Dan. I'll be mediator here. I kind of meet halfway in the middle. I completely get it. We're not going to win a Champions League, right? That doesn't mean we shouldn't be in it. But at the same time, I get it. We shouldn't be going in the Champions League and going, I want Richarlison's, right? I want players like that. I get it. We got to meet in the middle. For me, but the bigger issue is we've got to have Champions League next year. We've got to. All these people that are pretending everything's going to be fine, I don't think they understand. We haven't had Champions League now. This will be the third year, if I'm not wrong, without Champions League football. And that big
That's right.
stadium wasn't built to work off of no European football. Like people say things in my chat. I get this every day, Dan, don't we? Oh, just put on another few concerts. You can put on another few concerts. That's not covering Champions League revenue for a year. I don't think people understand how much revenue the Champions League brings in. So
the difference
I'm
is
in the middle of both of you.
the difference
I was
is
embarrassed the last
we
time
don't
Tottenham
need
qualified for Champions
the
League.
Champions League to survive as a football club. We don't
Sure.
need to sell players. We don't even need to. We can go and finish 17th every season, and we can still survive as a football club. But there's a difference between surviving and then going places. We are one of the only teams on this planet that can survive by doing nothing, basically, except staying in the Premier League. Chelsea can't do it. Not a chance in hell. Not with their dog shit stadium and lack of money that they bring in, apart from selling their youth players. That is how Chelsea get their money together to be able to spend. And also winning things over the years. Man City have to do the same thing. They have to win things to be able to spend money. Newcastle, they have to win things or get in the Champions League to spend money. Same as Liverpool at the end of the day. Man U and Liverpool, yeah, there's a lot more income on their sides out of the football, and that they're two of the biggest teams in the world. But a lot of other teams, without that Champions League, they can't even spend money. I mean, look at the ticket prices we have got. This is an advantage we have with Spurs being in London. And I've repeated it enough times. The further up north you go, the poorer you get. Like it or lump it, it's a fact. Whether it sounds offensive or whatever, it is a fact. Why can't Liverpool, Man U and Newcastle charge the same prices as Fulham? Because they are up north and there is no money up there. Not compared to down London. Why is my place worth nearly 500,000 now? And why can I go and get a place nearly 3 times the size for 200 grand if I go up Liverpool, if I go up Newcastle, if I go up Manchester? The money is down here. They need this to be able to spend their money. We could actually go and be able to spend money without winning this because we do have revenue in the background. But then it comes to attraction, then it comes to Levy, then it comes to the business of it and everything else. We need this Champions League as much as they do now, but for different reasons.
But Dan, the problem is for me, right? It's like I said to you before, and I've said it in the group chat. Yeah, it becomes a little boy who cried wolf because you Tottenham qualify for Champions League. But the thing is here, they don't respect it for me. They don't respect the Champions League. They don't use it to kick it on. They stay stagnant here, or they'll just buy players from the bottom end of the division, right? And then they come into the club, and then that'll be it. And so you're not moving anywhere from the Champions League. It's not benefiting you.
But then we blame the owners.
By buying the better players that you need.
Right. But then you blame the owners. Then we've got something to blame on the owners. Whereas if we don't get in this Champions League and we end up 17th and we end up with another Mickey Mouse manager, or we keep Ange or whatever else, and we can't attract players, you can't even blame the board on that, really, because they can turn around and say, well, look where we are. We can't spend money. Whereas if we get in the Champions League at least and then have money on the table, we have something to attract bigger players. We can actually put down some wages, or put up the wages, should I say. And if we don't do it, then you can turn around and say, right, that's down to the board. Whereas at the moment, if we don't qualify it and he only goes and spends 50 mil, what can you actually grill him for?
Yeah, but Daniel, we had this conversation under Conte. That summer under Conte where we got Champions League football.
I don't care about Conte. This is now.
You have everything in gear to kick on. You had everything there to kick on. The club didn't
how can
want
we
to
kick
do
on
that.
if we don't get the Champions League? How can we kick on?
Yeah, Philly, this is what I don't get. Yeah, like I get what you're saying. We haven't historically kicked on, right?
And you're right with that.
And you're right with that. But you've got to get. We can't say, well, it doesn't matter if we don't get it because we don't kick on anyway. We've got to, because Dan is right in this occasion. If we get it and don't kick on, that's where we can all turn around and go, well, that's Daniel Levy. If we don't get it, I can't blame not getting Champions League now on Daniel Levy. No. This is out of his hands. We're in a final against a team who are as bad as we are. This is now no longer Daniel Levy. Now, what will happen is, I can tell you this, I can tell you, and Lubo will be disagreeing with me if he was here, so would Stel, so would those. They'll go, if we don't get Levy out, Levy did it. Levy has nothing to do with this Europa League campaign for me.
I agree.
Right? Levy's got nothing to do with tonight. Right? Levy, for me, had nothing to do with the Champions League final. Levy, for me, had nothing to do with when we lost on penalties to Man United in a League Cup final or lost to Blackburn. And for me, this is now about the players and the manager. Right? Now, for them, it might not be as disastrous as it is for us as the fans, because Ange might not be here if they don't win it. Some of the players might not be here if they don't win it. Some of the staff won't be here if we don't win it. For us, the fans, we're always the ones that pick up the mess. We're always the ones that sit here year in, year out going, well, look what that regime has left us, right? So for me, you've got to get in the Champions League, and then the pressure needs to then go on Paratici and Daniel Levy. That's where the pressure needs to go. If we get in the Champions League, Philly, if we get in the Champions League, it means we've won a trophy. So double whammy. If we get in the Champions League, and then our first signings are Matisse Tell, are a 20-year-old from Middlesbrough, then I'm sitting there going, what was the point? What was the point? But we've got to get to that stage, right? Surely we've got to get to that stage to know. And I know we can all live on the history. I get it. I'm with you, Philly. You know I'm with you on this. But we've got to.
I hear you, Savva.
Absolutely.
And for the young fans here, like the Matty K's, I hope Spurs win a trophy. I hope Spurs win tonight. For the fans like Lubo, who travelled to Bilbao, I hope that Spurs win tonight, Savva. But for me as a person, mate, I'm looking at this club here, and I'm thinking, right, what happens on the football pitch here? Once the players cross that white line here, and this is a one from Brian, once the players cross the white line here, whatever happens in the match, right, that's on the manager. But what happens before they cross the white line, and the fact that the players are crossing the white line in the first place to step onto the pitch for Spurs, that is on Daniel Levy, right? Now, I have to be balanced and fair, which is why I give Daniel Levy his props here, because he's given Ange what he needed to get to the final. Now it's on Ange here to get us over the line, if he's good enough to get us over the line, which is what I've always said. I want to see how good of a manager you are, to see if you can cross the line. Now, I'm saying I want to look at this window. I'm looking at last window, and I'm thinking that was a 1 out of 10. I'm looking at the January window, thinking that's a 1 out of 10. Already there's discussions here about signing Tell on the permanent. Now, I said to Lubo weeks ago, right, if Tottenham was smart, a smart football club, what they would do is offset the money for Kane buying Paulinho, which is a problematic position in the team.
Sure.
Right, and then being able to, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to be successful. You just have to look at the problems that you have in the football pitch. This is why you look at the problems. All right, you look at the problems, the problematic positions in your team, and you buy accordingly. You say, right, we haven't got a DM, so let's go buy a DM first of all. Right, you've got enough wingers. You've got so many wingers you've brought in since Ange has been here. You've got so many options on the wings, right, or inside forwards as people like to call them, right. So we don't need to be bringing in Tell in that position, because you've got Mikey Moore in there.
I agree with you, but the problem is then that falls back to the manager. If the manager doesn't want a number 6, then you're not going to buy a number 6.
Yeah,
by the way, I just want to bring in my man Phil Coys. Phil Coys is having one of them moments where I feel like, hang on, be careful what you say, Phil Coys. So Phil is saying, Dan, I'm with you. These fans that say, what's the point being in the Champions League, that just given up? That's just a given up attitude. Let's just give up then. Ridiculous. Sure. But we've got fans like you, Phil Coys, that want to win the Champions League and then want to use that to sign players like Matisse Tell. So that is what Philly's saying. There's no point getting Champions League football and then we go, cool, Matisse Tell should be who we're buying. No. I think what Philly is saying is get Champions League football. I want to then see Mbuemo, right? I want to see a top winger. I don't want to see Matisse Tell, but we've got fans that want to win this Europa League, get in the Champions League, and then are still sanctioning signing more 19-year-old kids that we don't need. That for me is amazing. I'm not doing anything, Phil. You want to sign him. You've said that a number of times. I don't get why anyone would want to sign Tell in a transfer window when we're in the Champions League. Surely if we get to the Champions League and you have 100 and let's say we get in the Champions League and our budget is, let's say our budget is 100 million plus whatever we sell. So let's say we sell another 60, 70 million on top. Our budget is 170 million. I don't want 40 million of that 170 on Matisse Tell. That for me doesn't show we're a club that want to do anything and take it seriously in the Champions League, right? You don't go and buy more Tells. You go out and go, right, on Buemo, 50, 60 million, boom. Now I can go and buy 3 or 4 other players. No, sorry, we can't have this both ways. You can't tell people that they need to have more standards and more want to win things, but then we're sanctioning buying more kids who haven't done anything in the world of football. Get Champions League, act like a Champions League club.
Look at Arsenal, right? We had people saying there that we were at Arsenal was in our rear view a couple of years ago. Look how they got Champions League, yeah, and one of the first signs they made was Declan Rice. So there are levels between the signings that we make here and the signings that they make. But
look who have they bought already? Who have they bought already for next season? They've already bought in Zubamendi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll have loads of people go, oh, Zubamendi's not good. Zubamendi's a very good midfielder that offers Arsenal something very different to what they've got at the moment. Zubamendi, Matisse Tell. These are the levels, Philly. You are 100% correct on that. And I think this is where I can find a bridge for you and Dan to meet in the middle, if I'm fair here. You can't be getting Champions League and then buying Tells. That for me is everything we've done in the past. And that for me is where I go to the fans and go, well, you've not learned.
I agree.
And that is where we can then go for the bigger players. Whatever way you say you do it, whether you phone the fucking agent, whether you phone the agent or whatever else, or whether you put the money, whatever way people want to say it, yeah? Then you've got Champions League to offer. Then you can put the wages up. Whether Levy does it or not is a different story. We all know that one, but there will be more money there to spend. There will be more there to attract bigger players. Otherwise, we will have to look at smaller players because we just will have nothing to offer in any means or manner. If we want to improve and we want to get somewhere, we need to get in that Champions League come love nor money. Whether we're there to win it or not ain't the point.
I just want to see it, Dan. I've got to that point now.
We've got this going on
as a fan that Paulinho is a bench former for a club and country, not better than what we have. Oh my gosh!
But this is what I mean. We've got a fan base, Philly, that think Tell is a good signing, that think Paulinho is not better than what we've got. Who do people want to? Like, I'm really baffled. We want to get in the Champions League, but don't think Paulinho is good enough, but think Tell's good. I don't know what we're doing. I genuinely don't know what we're doing at times. No, but Philly, stop saying this. Stop saying this, Phil. To get Tell, you're going to have to weigh out 30 to 40 million of your transfer budget. Why would you not want that going on better players? This has never made sense to me. This guy has done absolutely nothing in 19 games of football for Tottenham, and you want to spend a quarter of our transfer budget on him. It's madness. Then what you would then what you would do, Phil, is next year you'd go, oh, Levy didn't buy him the players he needed. No, because we were busy buying Archie Grays and Matisse Tells. Make it make sense, Phil. If you want to be in the Champions League, have some standards. Standards.
I don't want to buy players on potential. I don't want to spunk 40 million up the bloody wall on Archie Grays on he could be good in 3 or 4 years. What has he done to justify 40 million this year? Okay, he carried himself when he finished in defence, when he was in defence and right back. And if he would have been a right back or a defender, he would have probably got twice the stick he got. Why do I want to blow money like that up the wall? I want to go and get a player. You can go and get any player and you don't know how they're really going to land at your club. But there's certain players you get where you know you have a significantly higher chance that he's going to come in and do the job compared to other players where you bring him in as a kid and you're just basically hitting and hoping.
I agree.
And that is what we've been doing.
And that for me is why I said...
And that's what Tell is, another hit and hope.
Yeah, no, I agree, Dan. To your point there, we've talked about this before, yeah, about Edison at Atalanta. Why would Edison go from Atalanta to Spurs here if they're not in the Champions League? That's the kind of level of signing that I'm looking at. The likes of Alex Bayana, that's the kind of level of signing that I'm looking at coming to Spurs here if they get Champions League football. But I want to see it. I need to see it physically to believe it, though. And that's the problem with me. I've seen it too often. Yeah, Spurs get Champions League and then they'll buy the likes of Tel. And that for me means it's pointless qualifying for Champions League. If that is the level of signings that people are happy with and fans are going to gas up, then no, I don't want Champions League football for that.
Listen, I agree with you. At the end of the day, I think it's got to be all or nothing. Yeah. Pardon the silly cliche. If you want Champions League football, want better players. Yeah. If you want Champions League football, go and buy top ready-made players. Because what I'm not going to have fans like Phil claiming they want Tel. Then when we sign Tel, going, oh, but we didn't buy another winger. Well, yeah, because we've just gone and bought Tel. Like, you're not just going to go and buy an endless amount of wingers. Are Spurs going to turn around and go, right, 80 million of our budget this year is going to be on 2 wingers who play in the same position? We genuinely don't seem to think. What's also worried me is, how do people not know a footballer? How do people not know a footballer? Who is watching Tel in a Spurs shirt and going, yes? Like, who? Guys, are either of you watching Tel in a Spurs shirt and going, that's what we need across the whole of world football? That's what we need for 30, 40 million. It truly astonishes me how many of our fans don't know a player anymore. The standards are dead.
I agree.
What does he do? What does you watch now? He'll score the winner tonight. Now I've said that, and everyone will go mental. But what does he do? He's had 19 games.
I'm not going to be funny, yeah. Tel lacks composure. I watched him the other day, yeah, and he had the ball in the area, and it was easier to score, and he blazed it over the bar, and I'm like, mate, your lack of composure is shocking, brother. You can't control the ball and just knock it side. No, you go and put it 2 yards. No, as if you're playing rugby, just put it into touch. It's like, mate, come on, man. And you're on loan. While you're on loan, yeah, right, this is your chance, yeah, to go and prove it and say, look, yeah, I'm here, yeah, come and sign me. He has done nothing in a Spurs shirt. Yeah, fans want to buy this guy. At least with Danzo, I can say, you know what, Danzo's at least put the effort in there to say, look, come and buy me. But nothing has come from Tel, nothing whatsoever.
I just don't get it. For me, if you're going to buy a Matisse Tel, big up, Alex, you may as well go out and be in the Europa League or the Conference League. If that's the standard of player you want, yeah, then we may as well all pack up. Surely the whole point to qualify for Champions League and building this stadium wasn't to buy Matisse Tels. Now, let me caveat this. In 3 years' time, when Matisse Tels matured, played a lot of football, he could be a very good footballer, sure. I could say that about any 19-year-old out there. But why don't these people want better players? Why do people like Phil Coys, I'll pick on him, why do people like Phil Coys champion for mediocre footballers? Why? And then say they want the owners out. Why do you want the owners out if they buy you players like Tel that you're happy with? Why? Just be happy.
I agree. Why protest? Why protest whatsoever? If the club is signing the players that you like here, like Matisse Tels, like the Archie Gray, why are you complaining for? Why are you protesting for? You might as well just let the club do its business because they're obviously buying the players that you like. So why are you outside there complaining and saying Daniel Levy out for? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's what we're asking would be our front three next season. Johnson, Tel and Solanke. And then people will go, oh, well, it's not Ange's style of football. It's that we can't score goals. Yeah, but you wanted to sign people like Tel. I listen. And by the way, I'm not having a pop at Tel. He's a kid. He's a young kid. You don't sign kids on loan to make you better. Loan signings are meant to be players that come in immediately and make you better. Look at Villa, Asensio and Rashford. Right? That's what loan signings are meant to be. Not 19-year-olds that need coaching. But what? But Phil, why do we want a season-long loan of Tell? For what reason? Like, why? I've asked you for 4 months, what does Tell do? And I still never get an actual football answer other than you see something. Sorry, I just can't. I can't.
All right,
Standard,
Savva.
Phil.
All right, Savva, let me
Standard.
take this one from here, yeah? Right, okay, so we had 6 months of Tell on loan, right? If he wasn't, let's say if Tell was 29, yeah, and the German international, Timo Werner, he had 6 months on loan. What did Werner prove in the 6 months? So why did we take him for another year? So Tell would be like that for me. Tell would be a Werner Mark II. You have done nothing in the 6 months here, but fans want to keep him for another year on loan. Why?
Right.
He has done nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex, let me bring you in here. How you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. You're on mute.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
For a man that says, let me make myself known, you need to not be on mute, mate. It's we need to hear that sexy voice.
I love that. By the way, we should be all positive because we're winning Europa League tonight. We're all winning Europa League tonight.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. I'm
only being jesting, but we're going to win Europa League tonight. You know what I mean? You're going to win Europa League tonight. You know what I mean? And to my arch nemesis, David Harris, that absolute waffler, telling me that you didn't say that before. You were criticising the manager. No, because after Frankfurt, I saw what was coming, so that's why I changed my mind. Yes, you can change your mind, can you, David? Love you to bits, David, but when you come back to debate us, come back and debate me again. You know what I mean? And I'll show you what the main of it's all about. You know what I mean? So, sorry, I had to get that in. Savva, it's a private joke.
Let's just fire shots at David Harris for the next few hours. Yeah, let's do that. That'd be amazing.
No, he knows how it is. But no, listen. I can't be asked to talk about Archie Gray or Tell. It's not in my. I understand you want to get the algorithm and everything else, but for me, they're not irrelevant to me because I don't think they're not going to be effective in this game. For me, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd rather have Richarlison, that below average Emil Heskey up front right now, with Solanke, who's done nothing this season as well. So I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I think
Alex,
actually.
What are you punishing me for? Alex, what did I do in the previous life?
I know, but I think that's the only option we got at the moment. And then Poro needs to be more attacking today. But I just think get the job done today. He has to get the job done today, and we will get the job done today. Because if he doesn't get the job done today, okay, I don't know what else to say. Because then I'll be angry because I've kept invested for the whole season because of this. This is the only thing that's kept me invested. The only thing that's kept me invested.
Alex,
because
you're
nothing
right.
else has kept me invested, and I'll be
angry
angry because I'm going to
boils down to this. The whole season. By the way, guys, I'm going to go live until 1 p.m. to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to do my next show is going to be at 5, not 4. 5 p.m., not 4. I'll have a 4-hour break. And then I'll be live from 5 p.m. through till the wee hours of the morning, I'm guessing, depending on what happens tonight, depending on Lee Gunner style emergency meetings either way. But Alex, you are right. This has been the only thing keeping Spurs fans going. So the fans, the players owe us. The manager owes us. They owe us, don't they?
They owe me big time because I that's the only reason why I've been invested. Because like I said, I was 2/3 out the door, to be honest with you, and it should have been over since Frankfurt. And then that changed everything. And and he knew exactly what time it is, and he knows exactly what time it is today. He knows it. Why do you think they went so early to Bilbao? He knows exactly what time it is. He knows exactly what time it is, Postecoglou. Oh, gosh. It's not going to be a great game, but yeah, you'll get it done somehow. Somehow, some way, we'll get it done. You know what I mean?
Philly, do you agree with Alex? I mean, Alex has turned into a happy clapper the last few weeks, and we like to see it. Philly,
that's weird, by the way, according to some people. Me smiling like this, it's weird. It's weird. You know what I
Can't
mean?
believe you want your team to win a final. Such a bad fan. Philly, are we winning it? In your opinion, are we winning it? You don't have to just say yes because it's the done thing. Are we winning it in your opinion? Are we the favourites? Have we got enough to beat United?
I don't know, Savva. This is the conundrum. I just don't know. This is a flip of a coin. Both teams are as bad as each other. Yeah, both teams have weaknesses that the other team seem to have strengths in them areas. So I can't definitively give you anything. But if I had to say one team tonight, because of the fact that Man United have won the FA Cup and the League Cup in the last 2 years, and they've been in finals and got over the line, I would have to say Man United are favourites because they've got over the line twice in the last 2 years. But Spurs, anything is possible with Spurs, and that's the thing about, and that's been our mantra for all our lives. To dare is to do. So you just don't know what team's going to show up tonight. I hope Spurs win, but am I confident Spurs will go there and beat Man United in a one-off game when Man United have been there before and got over the line? No.
No, listen, I hear you. I mean, Danny, does Man U winning 2 trophies in the last 2 years make them favourites just purely through their ability to get over the line?
Man U have got winning DNA in their capability. They've got it in their blood. We all know that. Man U are a club like Arsenal, like Chelsea, like real big clubs. Not like Spursy clubs who can be at their worst and still win. We have been at our best and won nothing. We are now at our worst.
Yeah.
Let's hope we can win something. And for me, it's 55-45 to Spurs.
Oh,
I think we've just got that.
What gives us the 5%? What gives us the 10% extra over them?
I think that we're going to want it more and hopefully not be desperate. I think we've got too much pace up front for their defence.
Can I ask a question?
Their attack.
I keep hearing
the other thing is their keeper as well. Their keeper is a liability.
Can I ask you though, and this is the panel, and Dan and the panel, I keep hearing from everyone that we're going to want it more. What is this based on that we want it more than Man U? Man U, for me, have actually looked good in the Europa League. Man U have been sweeping teams aside. Where's this notion that we want it more? I'm just asking. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking.
With the fact that Man U haven't lost in the Europa League is irrelevant. Who cares? Who gives a toss? They're playing Tottenham now, another Premier League team. So whether it's the same with us, by the way. We've looked better in Europe than we have in the Premier League. So have Man U. That's irrelevant because we're playing Premier League teams now. This is where you have the question on both sides. Is Ange going to play a Premier League way or is he going to play a Europa way? We've done Man U 3 times playing our Premier League way. So the fact that it's even a European game to an extent is irrelevant because it's 2 Premier League teams playing against each other. And I just think we can hurt them in more positions than they can hurt us. As long as we don't use the inverted wing-back bullshit and sit on the halfway line, I think we've got more control over them than they have over us, or catching them on a counter with pace. I know we haven't got the creativity, but again, their defense is slow. I mean, like extremely slow. And wanting it more, I think the players have already shown. Again, it's just an opinion. They're not there for Ange. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether they're there for us or not, I don't know. I think the players are there for themselves and they've got a point to prove to themselves and they want this. Because they've never had nothing. With Man U, if they don't go and win this, on the trophy side of it, okay, we missed out on the trophy.
Yeah,
fine.
But
you look at their cabinet and you look at our cabinet, you know.
Sure, but isn't there an argument, guys, that works the other way? Like if we're talking about winning mentality, the reason Man United have got those trophies in the cabinet is players like Casemiro, is players like Mason Mount.
I agree.
Is players like Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandez. So couldn't we turn around and say, well, they want it more because they're winners? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I know. I can understand that one as well. I can go with that one. This is why I'm 55-45 45. I don't care who the players are on the pitch for, whether they're on there for us, whether they're on there for the squad, whether they're on there for the team, whether they're on there for the club. I couldn't care less. Go out and win that bloody game. That is all I give a shit about.
I don't.
And I just think these ones seem like they've got a little bit more of a point to prove. Just personal opinion. That's all.
Yeah, no. Listen, by the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to, you know me. I like to throw. I like to throw
two points I need to go with. He's saying. Sorry to interrupt you, Savva. Things that you made, Dan. Right. Firstly, right. You're worried about us inverting. We're not going to invert because the players will decide not to invert. Right. I'm sorry, because if they're going to invert to if they decide to do inverting today, right, that I mean, it would be mind blowing if they're doing it. When the last how many times it's worked in the last how many rounds it's worked. Why would you do it now? You know what I mean? Would you rather play safe rather than try and make a risk? You know what I mean? Take a risk.
Because Alex, what Dan was saying is we've beaten Man United playing the way we've played with the high line and the inverse with the inverted wingers, and that's why he's saying play it that way rather than playing safe. We're not playing Bilbao. We're not playing a European team that we need to maybe do what we've done in the last 2 games. What we're saying is, and I think this is where Man United are worried, is they're worried that little old Tottenham is going to absolutely ruin their season, and I think that's where the fear comes from United fans. I think I don't think they're worried about. They're not worried about on the pitch, but they're just in the back of their mind. They're just like, oh my god, Tottenham have not won a trophy for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And this little old Tottenham could be the ones that do it. And I think if we
Totally
pressurize them and we go at them from minute 1 and get an early goal and a couple of goals, I think then we can maybe do what you're saying, Alex, and be a little bit more conservative. But I don't know. It hasn't really worked well for us in the past.
I think Nick is 100% right. We are just last bit I say on that bit. I think Nick, you've just hit the nail on the head. At the end of the day, they're Manchester United, for God's sake. The biggest, if not one of the 3 biggest teams in the world, global wise. Let's be realistic here. Who are we? We're nothing. We're little old Spursy. And that is all we are compared to every other club that looks at us, basically. We should be bigger. We should be this. But that's where I think the pressure is more on Man U as well, because they are Manchester United. And we are just little old Spursy who screw it up every game. We're minors, basically. We are the most embarrassing, underachieving club on this planet. We are basically the national version of the international version of England.
Yep.
Like it or lump it, it is what it is. It is what it is.
This is something I do feel we need to talk about. When people, I'm seeing people making sweeping generalizations. Like I keep hearing about how we've played throughout the Europa. And I always like to bring this back to, hang on. What people mean is how we played second half against Frankfurt and how we played second leg against Bodo. Like what we're doing is we're taking about 140 minutes of football, 135 minutes of football, and everyone's saying we played like that for the entirety of the Europa. We didn't.
We didn't.
All right. Now, the difference in both of those games, the second half of Frankfurt and the second leg of Bodo, is both of those games, the common denominator was we were already winning. Like that was it. We had something to hold on to. So we went a bit more pragmatic. We didn't invert, and we were come and beat us. My worry today is if we do what you said there, or if Nick said it, that we get an early goal, great. My worry is getting that early goal. My worry is when we're saying just go at them, I don't know who we've got to go at them. When we're saying about, we want it more and we've got more in dangerous positions than they have, I don't think that's true in any way, shape or form. I think they've got players like Bruno Fernandez that can hurt us. Yes. They've got players like Mason Mount who, listen, I don't think Mason Mount's the greatest player, but he's a big game player that's been there, seen it, done it, won things, grabs goals. I think that this is going to be really interesting. Does he go inverted to start? Does he go inverted and then we go beyond? I don't know. Does he go pragmatic from the start? This is going to be a very, very interesting matchup here. But what I do know is this. if we invert those fullbacks against a wing-back system, it's going to be a long 90 minutes.
I agree 100%. I don't want
Yeah,
us
but
to go
Savva,
all out attack. I'm just saying the only point I was making to it is the question of what way is he going to do it? Is he going to
yeah, but
do it
Savva,
the
don't you think
Europa way, or is he going to do it the Premier League way? Because we have cooked them 3 times this year, and it is, what way is he going to do it? I would rather be a little bit more pragmatic with this, sit back a little bit more and do the playmaking from deeper, because we haven't got the playmaking up front and a long ball up front. Their defense is that slow, whatever. It is what is he going to do? I honestly don't know, and that could actually be bugging Man U as well.
And by the way, can I just remind people that these players that he's going to play tonight haven't played the last 2 games, Premier League games, by the way, so they're still cold. They're not match fit. So I'm not
Right,
hearing.
and let me add a little point here.
just
Yeah,
remind
don't you
people.
think we sound like Arsenal fans before they play PSG? Don't you not think that? Because Arsenal fans were saying we beat PSG in the group stages, and what happened in the semi-final? By the way, they lost the semi-final to the same PSG that they were claiming they were going to beat. All right, we
Well, that's
beat Man United 3 times here. For all 3 of those games here, we beat them convincingly the first time under Ten Hag. We beat them 3-0. Yeah, right. That League Cup game could have gone anywhere. That
Yeah, I
game
know.
was littered with mistakes from both sides, including the goalkeeper throwing the last one in the back of his own net. The 1-0 victory against Man United at White Hart Lane, yeah,
It's crap.
Man United had loads of chances to
Yeah,
score
it's
against
crap.
us. Right,
But
so
this is
you're losing the context of the game here. Right,
No.
right now, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen tonight. So I'm just gonna let the game go on and then see what happens in the game. But I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking we sound a lot like Arsenal fans, as if we beat them 3 times already. So what?
Nobody has
You know,
said
game
here
is
and
the
said
same.
we've beat them 3 times, so we're going to do them again. No one said that at all.
I've
we
heard
should
it,
be
Dan.
confident. We should be.
Who
we
has
should be
said that on
confident,
here? I
but
said we've beat them 3 times, so that can give you that bit of confidence. But this is where I'm one who says you never, ever, ever get complacent. No one on here has said once that we've done them 3 times, we're going to do them again.
But we should be confident of doing it, though. But the thing is, it'd be silly to do what you said, Dan. Him going all out attack. For me,
I didn't say go all out attack.
No.
I said,
I'm saying.
is he going to do?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, right? If he goes gun ho, right? For me, that's silly, right? In a tense game, a final that he can't afford to lose, right? So for me, he needs to keep it tight, right? And the players need to just decide to just not invert, don't invert, right? Test it out the next 10 minutes, see how it is. And then when you gauge how it is, then go at them rather than going out all gun ho, trying to get the first goal. And then you leave yourself open. It's stupid.
But it has worked with 3 games we've played them. The difference was we didn't actually play inverted wing backs.
Do it
that
3
was the main
times.
difference.
If he's doing it 3 times, yeah, he's and get was it? I can't think of the saying, but if he does it 3 times to Amrin, and Amrin hasn't figured that out already, right? When he's seen lower teams than him doing what they've done to us, right? He's silly, right? So I wouldn't give him that opportunity. I just think the players need to just think for themselves here. If they're going out all gun ho, right? Yeah, because I think they can get a first goal and then make it easy for themselves. I think they're stupid. It's a final.
I don't think they should be doing it. I agree with you.
I think it's stupid, right?
Again, I just don't think it should be either or. I think this is where the manager's had a long time to work on this game plan.
Exactly.
The manager's had a long time of knowing he's got no James Maddison. The manager's had a long time to put the plan together. This is where he earns his £5 million per year. I think that's fair to say, guys, right? This is where there can be no, but we didn't have Maddison. We've known that for ages, right? Oh, we didn't have Kulu. We've known that. You've known that. You've had time to work on it. This should be, again, my criticism of Ange, and I'll praise him if this doesn't happen tonight. I will praise him where it's due, right? My criticism has always been he can do one or the other. He can go all out gung-ho, or he can sit back. So if you look at the Frankfurt game, when we sat back, we looked dreadful going forward. We had nothing to get out. We just sat back and put it in, right? Same against Villa the other night. When we sit back, all right, we look a bit more organised, but nothing going forward. Today, you've had time to work on it. What's the balance from the back to the front? Let's see. It's all right sticking 10 men behind the ball. And what happened was we had loads of people in the chat Friday night. Spurs had 10 men behind the ball against Villa and people went, oh, look how organised we look. No. Just sticking 10 men behind the ball isn't organised. Doing what Crystal Palace did the other day to Man City, that's organised. That's drilled. That you saw when the back three knew when to turn into a back five. You saw when the midfielders knew to go and knew to stay. That's drilled, right? So I want to see today, first of all, sensible, right? Yeah, you might get the early goal. Then you can be a bit more pragmatic. But my worry is, what if we go a goal down? My worry is, where does our goals come from? That is my biggest issue. And I could be 100% wrong. We might win this game 4-0. Egg on my face. Brilliant. We've won a champ. Listen, we win the cup. I don't care how wrong I am. I genuinely don't care. But my worry is, from back to front, Basuma, Bentancur and Sarr between them have zero creativity. They have zero creativity. They've got 2 assists across something like 120 games between them this year. Right? It's like they've got nothing. Right? Tell and Odegaard have zero creativity. They've got 1 assist between them in 39 appearances. This is going to go down to, for me, the senior pros. This is going to go down to Richie, Solanke, Son, and Brennan Johnson. This is what this is going to go down to. Can one of them provide a moment of magic? Can Sonny hit them on the break, curl one in the top corner? Can Solanke, for once, look like a clinical centre forward? Gets it on the edge of the box, takes a touch, swivels and shoots. That's what we need to see tonight, guys. Players turning up, players forgetting what Ange ball is or isn't, players forgetting about inverted wingers. Let's go and actually do what we need to do. That's all I want to see tonight. I don't care about the tactic. Go and get it done. That's all I want to see.
Whatever way you've got to do it, whether you go in there and you've got to do it the dirty way, if we go in there and we basically sit back the whole game and take a beating and then get that one lucky goal, are we really going to get these philosophy players that supporters that keep jumping in all the time and say, yeah, but we don't play the Spurs way? I don't think no one will give a monkeys.
What is the Spurs way? What is the Spurs way, Danny? Is it to lose? Is that
my point is on that one is there's a lot of managers we could go for. Thomas Frank being one of them, Glasner being another one of them, Iriola being another one of them. Not so much Iriola, sorry, but Glasner and or even if we went and got Inzaghi, just an example. I guarantee you'll have so many on this fan base, more the older people. But that's not the Spurs philosophy. I don't want this crap. Spurs don't play like that. I'd rather be losing 5-3, 6-3 to Liverpool than win a 1-0 game scrimping and scraping pragmatic football and that. And that's one of the biggest problems we got here.
I agree.
This is 2025. Sorry, people. Not 1955 anymore. Adapt. It doesn't matter what way we do this as long as we bloody win it.
Yeah,
and there'll still be someone who will sit there if we get a new manager, whatever else. There'll still be loads sitting there, but that's not the Spurs philosophy. And I couldn't give a shit about the Spurs philosophy. I don't care about Spurs history on how they play. I don't care about sentimental crap that so many people care about on here. I just want to win, and I don't care how we do it.
I agree. Can we agree? Can we agree, guys? If we win tonight, I just got to stress this before we end the show in a minute. Let's just try and be one fan base, a united fan base for one night. For one night, can we not have trolls? For one night, can we not have Ange in, Ange out?
You know they're going to Savva.
If even even if we lose, we can have the inquest tomorrow. But for one night, can we just please all be happy that Spurs have won? Even Scott M in the chat. Yeah. I see you, Scott. I see you, Scott. I see you. Just for one night. Right? We can listen. I'm gonna say it right now. We win tonight. Everyone knows I don't want Ange next season. You know what? I cannot worry about that tonight.
No,
I can worry about that next week. I can worry about that after the parade and the season finishes. But for one night, can we please just all be by hook or crook? Everyone this season, I know, every fan, every YouTuber, we've all got stuff right. We've all got stuff wrong. Let's all stop pretending that everybody gets 100% of things right or 100% of things wrong. for one night, can we just win a European tournament, win the final, and just cry, laugh, I don't know, whatever, get drunk, whatever people need to do in their own life for their own emotions, just do it without it being, oh, gutted, we won. I've got fans for months that have supported this club for 2 years telling me, gutted, you're the guy you don't like might win a trophy. I've supported Tottenham for 42 years. Why would I be gutted that we've won a European final?
Can we just be united? Can we just be united for one night, basically? Probably not the best word to use on who we're playing, but it's the only words I can think of.
It can be from 8 o'clock this evening until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 hours. That's all we're asking for, 4 hours.
Yeah, basically, can we just work together for one fucking... Sorry,
I think you're talking to the wrong people. I think you're talking to the wrong people, though. You need to talk to others on that one. But I'd say, yeah, I agree.
The box office, the professor of truth and entertainment, the ratings killer can be happy, clappy, and delusional. Then come on, people. We know that, you know, and don't get used to it either. Yeah, don't get used to him being like this because he won't be.
By the way, guys, for my scoreboard timer tonight, am I having Man United or Spurs? Who's the home team?
Spurs are the home team.
Spurs are the home team, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Because if I'd done that the wrong way around, someone would have had a go at me and said it's because I want Spurs to lose.
A true fan would have known that, Savva. Just saying, you know.
Jesus Christ. This is why no one wants you. Are you coming to the barbecue?
No.
Thank God.
No.
Where are you?
It's Laura's birthday that weekend, so.
So?
What do you mean, so?
So? Why isn't she coming?
Because she wants to have a party.
Well, all right, we'll have a party without you guys.
It won't be the same though, Savva, unfortunately. You know, Liverpool tells you, you know, best nights were had when Barry was there. Just saying.
And Perchy.
No. Yeah, Perchy to laugh at. Yeah, Perchy's just sending pictures. You seen that picture of him? Oh, Ledley King signed my shirt. Have you seen it? Have you seen the picture?
Mate, do you know what? My phone is just clogged up with fucking TikTok videos and videos of I'm seeing videos of every single person singing a song in Bilbao. It's just mental. I've got Bobby K sending me abuse. Big up, Bobby. I see you in the chat, my man. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be back at 5 o'clock. We're going to start the show at 5. Gary Mabbott is on the TV at the moment. They just showed Stefan Freund being interviewed outside the stadium in Bilbao. Look,
he was a good player.
Stefan Freund, I'd want him in our number 6 right now. I'll give you that. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Listen, I've got a super chat. Sorry, super chat. Big up to Marlon Blade. Big up to you. I hope that is your surname. That's a really cool surname. And I hope you call one of your kids Razor. Football makes no sense. I'm watching Inter Lazio and wondering how Lazio can take on Champions League finalists but bottle it v Glimt on penalties. It's a mad game. Marlon, the beauty of the cup, right? That's the beauty of the cup. It's a one-off game. This is why, for me, there are no excuses for Spurs and no excuses for Man United tonight. Neither team can go in going, oh, but this, but that, but injury, but this. No. It's a one-off game. It's a one-off final. As I said, I'm not blaming Daniel Levy. If we don't win tonight, I'm not blaming Daniel Levy, which I'm sure Lubo will. Lubo will be straight out there going, it's bloody Levy. It's Levy. Everything points to Levy. Big up to the greatest message I've ever seen. It just says, piss off, Barry. Love that. Well done, Phil. That's the best thing you've ever said, Phil.
I'm actually going to agree as well. That's probably the best thing you've ever said, Phil, if I'm honest. All the nonsense that you come out with, the best thing you've ever said. Yeah.
Oh, I want Matisse Tell. Oh, I want Matisse Tell. Big up to everyone. Big up to Scott M. Maybe even Scott might smile tonight. Who knows? You might see a little Scott M smile. Guys, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back from 5 p.m. right the way through to probably the early hours of the morning. Everyone is welcome. All these guests, they know they're welcome. I know I'm going to see their faces. And then we're going to have the watch along that they're more than welcome to stay on with me for tonight. Let's make a fucking brilliant night of it. And everyone's probably going to be cracking open a beer or drowning their sorrows after the game. Take care, everyone. Much love.
1 minute,
Smash
Savva, 1 minute, 1 minute. This is for
Oh.
Angus. Yeah. 5 times, Angus. 5. Booker T style, baby. That's 5 years of failure for your manager, man.
Hang on. I ask all Spurs fans before we rip the piss out of anyone, win the game. Win the game. Philly, you're sitting on 17 years. Just wait 10 hours. Wait 10 hours. Guys,
One quick thing for people. It's not going to be on YouTube tonight. I'm pretty sure of that. It's going to be on TNT. It's going to be free, as all you got to do is log in to them and become a member, but you don't have to pay nothing for it. I'm 90% sure it's not on YouTube tonight. So log up with TNT and you'll get the game, Champions League and everything for free.
Or your tight asses, everybody get TNT. Let's see who's live. Who shall I chuck you all over to? I'm going to chuck you over to who is live. There's not many people live at the moment. Who is live? I'm going to chuck you over to Jim and Kate for the fan predictions. Please, when you get over there, type in Savva Raid. Much love all. I'll see you at 5 p.m. Got 4 hours of listening to this lot waffle on about being upset and emotional about tonight's game. See you later, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.